Welcome to Journey Through the Gate, your paranormal portal podcast, as we delve into the many questions and wonders brought on by the supernatural experience. What's on the other side of the gate? Let's find out together.
Well, hey guys, I don't know where Sysco just went. Oh boy.
This is a cursed show from the beginning, I promise you. Hello to everybody. We are going to overcome this with Christmas spirit tonight. There's been so many bugaboos and whatchamacallits and those, what do you call those gremlin things that get in your works and technical and mess you up? Hello, my dear Laura. Welcome, everybody. Hello, dear chat. Oh, my goodness. Laura, it's so wonderful for you to be here. This from the beginning, let me explain to chat. Had a guest got sick. The guest is fine, just felt a little under the weather, pulled out on the show 48 hours ago. I'm thinking, what do I do? Totally different show. I'm thinking Christmas. So I'm thinking Christmas past. I'm thinking about, what can I do? Santa Claus sightings, what? I'm trying to do all this stuff in my head. Coming last minute with the show because I don't want to let the chat down. Hello, everybody. How are you doing tonight? And the first thing I did this morning was roll over and start texting Laura. We were texting things back and forth, and I said, man, I just got to call you. So first coffee, before I was ever out of bed, Laura and I jabbering on the phone this morning, trying to come up with an idea. She graciously said that she would come on tonight to be with me and for all of you. So welcome, please, in from midnight in the mountains, our dear friend, a fellow gatekeeper. Laura is in tonight. Hello, all you beautiful people. Hello, Laura. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here with you guys.
It's been a mess, right, honey? So right out of the gate, Laura and I, as well as everyone here, so glad to see you all tonight. Carol, how are you doing? Jackie, my love, I'm so happy, and I don't want to say a thing, but you know what? I love you dearly, and you know what I'm talking about. Jose, hi, sweetheart. Chris Jarvis, Aunt Edna. I could have sworn I saw Aunt Edna in here. Help me out, Laura. Holler him out.
Oh, Carol. Yep, there's Aunt Edna. Yeah, yes. I saw Melissa Nicole, Donnie Cho.
Are you kidding me? Donnie Cho. Patriot.
And Donnie Cho just got a new puppy, so congratulations to him.
Puppies! Congrats all over the place.
Yeah, he's cute.
Send pics. What's the name, Donnie? We gotta know name. We gotta have pics. We love our animals here.
He named it Tobias Crabapple.
Oh my goodness. Tobias Crabapple.
That's cute.
That's lovely. Probably wind up calling him Krabby. Hi, Gray. How you doing, sweetheart? KC. Creepy Unsolved. How you doing, love?
Oh, hey, Dylan.
Hey, Dylan. Let's see who else we have. I think I caught everybody. Uncommon. Hello, my
hey,
wonderful
Cassie.
mods. How you doing, Melissa? Hi, darling. Okay, so, Ian. Hi, Ian. Did we catch it? I think I got everybody. I hate missing people. I really do. I honestly think about it all the time. It's like, gosh, they asked a great question and I missed it. Or, it's hard being on this side, guys, because, you want to pay attention to your guest. You want to have a talk. You don't know really where to look. You want to catch the chat at the same time, which is off to my right. And it goes so fast sometimes. And that's why I came up with that whole gallery of, Gatekeepers Gallery, because I was going back and catching comments that were really good and questions that were really great. And, I feel bad that I miss it, but it's also, if I'm not paying attention to the guests and what they're saying, I'm over here at the thing, I got to turn around and go, I'm sorry, what did you say?
Yeah,
I never want to do that to a guest, because there's only so much. And so anyway, this is the thing. We're talking this morning over coffee, and of course our hearts are going out to everyone in in the states that were affected by this horrible tornado on steroids. I mean, it's an F5, hand of God. I can tell it's like the hand of it just comes down to it's like a bulldozer that just comes through, and nothing is safe. And I don't know if anybody's ever been in one, but my first question to the Lord today was, do we know anybody in these states? Is anybody in the chat affected by this? Is everybody okay? Does anybody know? So first thing, right out of the gate, no pun intended, I want to know, are you guys okay? Were you affected by this? Do you know anybody who was affected by this tornado on steroids that went across 5 states? And I've looked up and I've seen the green sky. I've seen a wall of a tornado come down. We had 11 tornadoes in one day in Alabama. I lost my house. I lost all kinds of things. I understand. My house was just destroyed. It was never the same after that. It's like you can only take so much. And insurance, everybody thinks that everybody, somebody's got this. Somebody's got them. The FEMA's got them. Red Cross got them. Salvation Army, neighbors, relative. And that's not always true. Your insurance has a lot of loopholes. Look at Sandy not long ago. I was in that too. I know people that are just getting into their house this month from Sandy, having to replace it. Look how far back that goes. That hurricane that hit the East Coast. So yeah. That was our first thing this morning, Laura, is trying to figure out. So in the chat, Bill in Tennessee, that's something we wanted to bring up. That was the first thing also that Laura said. Go ahead, Laura, explain your side of this as far as Bill. Steve and Bill from, our dear Steve Stockton and Bill have the missing persons. Why can't I ever say the name of that?
It's tricky. Missing persons and mysteries.
I think it's me. But anyway.
No, I have to think about it too. So I saw on YouTube a post that Bill put up on NPM.
Right.
And he was collecting money for the families, like buying cat food, dog food, clothes.
Right.
Things like that they need. And he was taking it through his PayPal.
Right.
So we do have the link for that. The mods are going to drop that.
Yep. Uncommon, drop that one for Bill's YouTube channel, please, if you wouldn't mind. Thank you so much. Anybody else that wants to drop it, we're also going to drop the PayPal link.
Yeah.
And go ahead, finish up. I just wanted to make sure they had that.
That was about it. I mean, I wouldn't I feel like we all know each other pretty well, even though we've all never met really in person. But I trust Bill. He definitely does a lot of good things for people. Without a doubt. Yeah, so
he bought a bunch of turkeys for Thanksgiving for like 30 families from donations. They don't have to do that. But quite honestly, in these times, sweetheart, I mean, I'd almost trust you. It's hard-earned $10 these days. I'm paycheck to paycheck. I mean, I don't have any extra cash. I mean, these are just tight times for everybody. We're making it, but you want to make sure if you could only give $5, that $5 is going to go to somebody who's going to.
If everybody gives $5,
use it wisely for people who need it. And I think I have zero doubt in my heart and my mind, and even my cynical mind, that the money is going to make it. You give it to Bill and missing persons, and he's going to do. And he's given books to people who donate.
I trust Bill more than some of the other
Amen
stuff that's out there. So definitely.
Right. And are you kidding me? Here says, I know Bill from Missing Persons is going out to help with food. Melissa says here that I know Bill in Tennessee went to help his community today. God bless him. God bless him. God bless him. I mean, even if we can just get Bill money for gas so he can, you know how much gas is now in Tennessee, to get out there so he can distribute water and clothes. I mean, if somebody wants to do a clothes drive, I've got a bunch of stuff like that. I mean, I can give stuff that I have. I mean, I'll give stuff that still got tags on it, sweaters and flannel shirts and socks and things like that. I'm sure food is something that people are Bill lives near the place that's hit, Chris says. See, I don't know that much, but from what I read that was on his channel, I was gathering that. I mean, I don't know that much about it, but I'm gathering that. You guys know more than I do.
He even went.
Look what Donnie says. I love you so much, Donnie. I don't even know Bull, which he means Bill, is and already I trust him more than 99.9% of humans. You know, me too. This is what I'm saying. We got to go with intent and heart, and we've got to go with our gut and our instincts on this one. And that's the first thing that came to me, Laura. Yeah, you too. Same thing. You know, minutes from each other call, and I said, look, I can't text this morning. I'm just upset because you get a little PTSD. I mean, I was a single mom with kids, and I'm, working 30 miles from where they are, and I hear this tornado and it's headed toward my town. And it was, Alabama and Tennessee have the best weather, and I mean, they can tell you it's coming down this street, getting a shelter. They spend time, if it's a time where kids are just getting out of school and home alone, they spend extra time telling kids, get in the cellar, get in a safe spot. They spend time. These are, in the South, it's something totally different. It's such a community when disaster strikes like this, and knowing how to prevent disaster. And there's places under churches, shelters you can get to. You can't always, and we were far enough away, but there was times we hit the ditch. There was times we spent, I can remember one time we didn't have a lot of heads up. We ran to the neighbors, which wasn't very close, but it was the only concrete cement block building. He had built his garage out of a block, and it was better than nothing because we were in a double wide at the time, out in the middle of the rural, So anyway, long story short, we're all huddled in here. Parents are grabbing the kids, and we put them against the far wall. We knew which way it was coming, and this was back when you could have the little TV transistor things, and you could watch TV, not on your phone. This is before cell phones and stuff like that. It was just regular TV out of the air before you had to have the box, So anyway, I'm watching the radar. I'm going, here it comes, and you can hear the pea hail. Now you've got all the adults. Luckily there was 2 mattresses in there with a box spring. So we put the kids against the wall, put the mattress in front of them, leaned against the mattress, and put a little twin mattress in front of us, and just prayed. And I'm watching this and going, here it comes. And you could hear the pea-sized hail. Very light at first, and get bigger and louder and bigger and louder, and bam, 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 and just so much wind, and like a freight train. And I mean, to get through that and to open the door slowly just to look through the woods to see if your backlight is still on. I remember asking my oldest son, just look and tell me if the light's on. If the light's on, the house is still there. If it's gone, it's probably gone. But we're here. I mean, it really does come down to that, the last minute choices. And these people, somebody in chat said it before, this was an F5 that stayed on the ground. I mean, it's just absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. And I can't imagine what the people are going through. So everybody is going through hard times right now. So if all we can do tonight is in some way gather our light and send it that way, send it to the people that are helping. Help is on the way. Laura said to me, we were trying to cheer each other up and trying to figure out what to do. And I remembered this thing from Mr. Rogers. We're not going to get through this without crying tonight. I'm telling you right now.
Oh, great. Thanks.
And I'm a hard-ass old broad, but this is tough, man. So Mr. Rogers used to say, a lot of times when you got a single parent, the TV kind of raises you. I got lucky because I had Andy Griffith and Mr. Rogers. I had Gilligan's Island. I had some cool shows, that at least had some morals to them. And I remember he said that something scary happened in the neighborhood, and he had asked his mom, why do tragedies happen? Why do these things happen? And she says, well, that's not good. She says, well, when bad things like this happen, even the most horrible ones, she said, don't be afraid and sit back and wait for the good, because good is going to come out of it. It rises out of the ashes of horrible, bad, heartbreaking times, and all the good starts. The heroes are born, people, the kindness, and the giving and the help comes. And I've never forgot that. Wait for the good. It's coming. Mm-hmm. So tonight, if you can't give, if you can't help Bill, maybe contact him via email. I'm sure he's very busy, or someone is close to him. I'm sure at this point, everybody in that wonderful channel, the writers, the editors, the researchers, there's a group of people there that are absolutely wonderful. Maybe contact one of them, or maybe Steve or something, and say, what do you need? Do you need a gas card? Maybe 2 or 3 people can get together and get a $20 gas card. That'll get you 2 gallons of gas.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the truth that, you know what I mean? But we got to laugh. We got to laugh because we got to get through this, Oh, helpers. That's right. Anna, she caught on here. I forgot this part. This was great. He also said, look for the helpers and to be one too. I love Mr. Rogers. Yes. Oh, that was perfect. Yes. Because I forgot that part, the helpers. That's what I'm saying. Right. We're going to be helpers tonight. We've got Bill's email up here. Thank you so much. I don't know what else to do as far as money, because money is so precious right now, especially to people in this chat. These are heartfelt people. This China chat, everybody here is, struggling as much as we are, everybody. Mm-hmm. But I still have 4 walls and a roof. I'm so blessed. So blessed. Right now, I have that. We've got storms coming too. I hear there's going to be one that's hitting North California. There's parts of North California I hear in the next 3 days going to get 100 inches of snow. Some other kind of crazy stuff is going on. Now, again, we could go off and start talking about CERN and HARP and everything else, and I would love to, but that's going to get me mad because, and I don't want to put that kind of energy out there tonight. Right. Everybody knows the truth that's in here that knows what I just said, and it seems highly crazy to me, but those people right now don't need that. What they need is our love and our good thoughts and energy and our prayers, and any way you want to send them that good energy. So if it's okay with you, Laura, if we could just take a moment and just try to focus ourselves, just, palms out, or however you want to do it. Focus on anybody hurting right now, anybody that's trying to help, because we are in search of recovery at this point. For those people that did get out and have to go through horrible things to pull themselves out of the rubble, or people that are looking for others, people that are searching, please, oh God, help these people. And for the people looking for their pets or for their kids or for their loved ones, please help others come along, touch their hearts and their hands to assist these people along, to get them to the places they need to reunite loved ones, for neighbors and loved ones to be there to help each other, and for any, and all help. That the helpers are going, like Anna and Mr. Rogers said, for the helpers that are going, let them get the assistance they need to give the help. Touch them in any way you can, and give them the strength to get through this. And blessed be, so may it be, and just send all the love and energy from this chat that way. And may the spirit of Christmas hit every heart involved in this and lift up from these ashes, because I believe we can do this. Amen. Amen. It's so hard right before Christmas, but I can tell you that if there's ever a time of the year that people can show kindness and pull each other up, and connect with family and new family and tribes and like-minded, like we've done here, they're going to do that too. I have nothing but, especially where it hit, the states that it hit, they know how to be a community there. They know how to be family. They know how to be friends. And, it's my heart just breaks for them. So I did a little video. Please forgive me for this heart-wrenching thing, but for those who didn't see it, I asked Laura what she thought about it, and you agreed too, sweetie, didn't you, that at least we could just take a moment and take a look. But while you're looking at this, if you could do something for me, let's look at it from a different vantage point, from different eyes, people that we know, the things that are true, like we just did with just sending good energy and good love and light that way. We got to be the light in the darkness. So as you're looking through this and your heart's kind of breaking for these people that went through and to see this horrible tragedy, please remember all the good that's going to come and all of the blessings that we have. You know, even if you've just, you know, you're sharing a simple dinner and you can't afford presents this year. Did you get a tree? Did you put the tree up? Did you decorate anyway because you believe in celebrating what you do have? You know, think about that. Count your blessings, like that old who was that? Bing Crosby and White Christmas, who they sang "Counting Your Blessings" instead of sheep. I find that when you do that, you realize how very lucky you really are, you know. But again, before we end, if anybody can contact Bill and knows him, if there's something else we can do to help, please. You know, I don't know how. Don't give me money because I have no idea how to get it to him or how to get it from here into there. Go straight to him. Bypass this channel. Go straight to him or straight to somebody you trust or a family directly. Someone in a community that's taken over. And like I said, I don't trust a lot of I don't know enough about it to say, you know, you can give your $20, your $100, your $5 here, and it'll be taken care of. This time of the year and this time in this world, we've got to really be careful with it. I'd rather give it directly to a no-kill pet shelter that are taking in pets or feeding animals until their family can get them. These are things that people don't think about.
I always do things like that when I have an extra $20, $30, $40. I follow a bunch of rescues on Instagram, and you know, they'll get some just really just heart-wrenching cases, and I'm just like, oh my God, in tears. And then I'm on PayPal or Venmo sending them just something.
Yeah,
to help them.
You know, it might be better for us to get supplies, but you got to think too, we're in these times where supplies, you know, are they going to be sitting on a cargo ship someplace? Are they going to be sitting in a truck? Are they going to get there? So
it's a good point.
I think if we just think, hey, Bigfoot or not, welcome in, honey. I'm trying to read the chat too at the same time to try to get ideas of what's going on. Some people are sending Bill messages, which is great. I think he's probably really busy, and if he's not, he's probably passed out exhausted because he's going to go through a lot of emotional stuff. You can't go through something like this. You're up for days, and you know, you just keep going till you pass out. You get up and do it again. This is going to take a while, but I know if we come together as a community and those that can help, pay attention to where you're putting money, because like I said, I don't any of those first things that would come to your mind. I've learned stuff over the past couple years that make them not so trustworthy. I'd rather put it right in Bill's hand.
Me too.
Or, you know, like I said, a gas card for him so he can get back and forth, or somebody that's helping him can get to the families, or the families can get to where they need to go. You know, maybe with another family member outside of the town. But anyway, as we're looking at this, you know, we can talk over it if you like. I pulled a couple of pieces from, I left their watermarks on there. I want to give them full credit, a YouTube channel that did some drone footage here. So, you know, without further ado on that, let's just see what we have here. And everybody, like I said, as you're looking at this, send those good thoughts and love in that direction. Okay, here we go. It's about a minute and a half long, so just hang with me. Okay? monster. Thank you to WX Chasing for the drone footage. Over there and subscribe to that channel. Jesus, sweet God Almighty. They never had a chance, man. This thing stayed on the ground for like 250 miles, I think. If you hadn't seen it, that'll give you a little bit of an idea. 200-mile path, F5, yeah. Melissa's saying, can you wrench me? Oh, absolutely, honey. Hold on. Bear with me just a minute. I only know one way to do it, so I have to pull you up on my phone, and I'll absolutely do it. This thing won't let me do it here. So go ahead, Laura, take over, man. That's incredible, yeah?
I don't know how much to say. I was trying not to cry.
Yeah, I know. It's very difficult, and the only reason is like the 5th time I've seen that, and a lot more.
That's the first I saw it. That's pretty.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, baby, you wrenched. There you go, sweetie. Share away. That's the thing. So you know that the evil's going to come out of the cracks, and people are going to be trying to get money. There's going to be GoFundMe's. There's going to be family. The people because the rats come out of the cracks, man. When roaches and stuff, and they come and they try to steal them. All these people scamming old people and stealing their bank accounts and their mortgages and everything else. We've come into a world that has just gotten so evil, it's not even funny. However, the good outweighs the bad. We're just seeing
thank
more
God
of the
for
evil.
that.
Yeah, heroes aren't put up, and exposed the way a lot of this evil is. I mean, if it bleeds, it leads, and you're going to hear a lot of bad. You're not going to hear the good till later. You're going to hear them in the little investigative journalists report stories and people coming out to tell the stories of how the neighbor returned the photo album, or, Laura and I have been talking about this most of the morning. So you are going to see the helpers, and you are going to see the good. Right now, it's absolutely horrible and devastating. So thank you, mods. There is PayPal for Venetter Design. Is that the?
I dropped that
Bill's?
a couple times. That's
Good,
the one.
okay.
Yeah, that's what Melissa has now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, so that's that one. And again, his YouTube channel, if you want to go in there and read the YouTube channel and the letter that Bill put, I highly recommend you go from his lips and don't, trust me. It's just that I would rather you not, give me the stuff, because there's better time, there's better ways of getting it to exactly where it needs to go. And I think boots on the ground could decide that.
Exactly, and he's even gone as far to say, that he'll show pictures of the receipts and things like that.
He's getting a lot of crap on his channel in the comments. People are calling him a grifter and stuff like that and things. But, people are going to say that too. Hey, T-Rex. Hey, Paradox. Hey, Andrew. I mean, it is, again, we just got to look past it. We gotta kind of ignore them and move on and don't give them any...
I know.
Dip it into the energy of it, because we've got to kind of stay above it and try. Yeah, people are really rude. Are you kidding me? No kidding.
It's so upsetting.
And you will see that, but the only way to get rid of the darkness is to be that spark of good, and I know we can do that. So again, if you have something, if you have clothes, if there's somebody you trust out there, the thing is the shipping. And
you might as well just send the money.
Yeah, ordering stuff right now, things are getting stuck on trucks, things are whatever. So the best thing, and supplies were bad, so hard to get. I mean, it's still near impossible. When I see it, I buy a case. If I have the money, I'll go without something to make sure the baby's got, their foods and gravies. My cats, I promise you. They're well taken care of. Got like 4 months stock up in there. I don't have anything, but they got the gravy with the mash and the bacon. Yes, bacon. He's a bacon lover too. So all of that stuff for like months, But anyway, let's think about the pets and stuff too, because that was something when Katrina hit. I found out in Alabama, it's like, something you think about a lot. People were leaving Katrina, running from Katrina, coming into Alabama. And I mean, 3 years later, there was still people camped out in the park that had come from that. But the thing was with the pets, and I found out because I was a manager at PetSmart in Huntsville, Alabama, when everybody was, we had the influx of people trying to survive that mess. And the amount of pets that didn't have a place to go, because a lot of the hotels aren't going to let you take your parrot and your dogs, and, think about it. So, that's something too. We have to think about. So if there's like maybe a no-kill shelter that you would trust more than sending, $20 to the Red Cross or something like that. Send it to a no-kill shelter, because I guarantee they're going to be overrun in the next 24, 48 hours.
That's so sad.
And they're going to stay that way. Because they have to watch them. They have to have somewhere. Vets are going to put up animals till the families can take them back. It's not just the families, that don't have a place to go. They're sitting in places right now trying to find other family members. I don't know what time this hit. Mostly I think Kentucky and Bowling Green was one of the hardest hit. That was the last bit of the drone footage you saw there. So, I don't know. I mean, that's all I can think of to do right now. I had to come on here, Laura and I both, and do something. It's devastating. So if anybody else has any ideas in the chat, please let us know. But the rest of the show, we figured tonight we could do a little bit, because we were talking about Dickens so much, and coming out of hard times, and he was the man. Basically he did kind of invent Christmas, because it was about being charitable, and it was about paying attention to the poor and the have-nots, and he was about exposing the prison systems and the corruption in the orphanages, and the rich being corrupt, to the poor, and how can you have all this and walk past someone who has nothing, that kind of stuff. And he brought it to the fruition, and that's kind of in a lot of ways what we're going through now, right, Laura? I mean, there's the extremely the haves and the have-nots at this point. And the thing is that people in this chat, people that listen to this stuff, we know that there's more to the material things, and more than that, it's love and family and the stuff that matters. And we started talking about Christmas, the Christmas past and Christmas memories that we had, and we started to think, well, before this even happened with the tornadoes and everything else, we said, how do you put the magic back in Christmas? And we started having that talk, and basically, you're the magic. You're the magic, and you've got to put it back. And if you want to have that magic, it could be whatever you want it to be. It could be watching It's a Wonderful Life together with your family, and making popcorn garland with cranberries. We did that. We have a tradition. My mother loved Christmas, and her big thing was a real Christmas tree. The smell of the pine and the needles, and having it right. And she would tell me, as broke as we were, we would always wait till like Christmas Eve to go out and see if we get a tree at a discount, because back then they used to give discounts like right before they wanted to get rid of them, But not so much anymore. But that was her thing, man. And we always, somehow she would start early. She'd always have something for me under the tree. And, we were poor, but I didn't know we were poor. Because we made everything special. And the way we decorated it, and the way we talked about each ornament, and setting up the manger, and all the little things that she set as tradition, made it special and put that magic in it for me. And she was one of the people that would tell me, and when I was younger, about Santa Claus. And in a lot of ways, Santa Claus was more of like a spirit of Christmas, the spirit of giving, and that's what we were supposed to do. We were supposed to give and help others and make other people smile, and that was what warmed your heart. The giving. So if you look at a lot of those things, whether it's a Christmas Carol where Scrooge gets turned around by three spirits at night and turns out to be giving and loving life and spreading joy, to It's a Wonderful Life, same thing, where a man was so caught up and so broken, that he had thought he'd lost everything, and was going to kill himself till an angel comes and pulls him out and shows him what his life would be and what other people would be without him in their life. We each touch everybody in ways we don't know, right, Laura?
Oh, yeah. And that's something that we can go back to what we were talking about earlier. You told me a story about your son. I don't know if you want, yeah, but it was about like a cute story about a tooth fairy and stuff. And can I tell the story, or is it okay?
Absolutely.
I didn't know if
it's just us. I mean, it's just us having a chat.
Us and
There's
whoever.
nobody else is going to hear it. It's going to be okay.
So, anyways, so Sysco has this story of how she would leave money for her children when they lost their teeth, and she would leave money with glitter on it and then like fairy footprints, right?
Yep, up the bed. Yeah, because I was a crafter, so I had all this t-shirt paint. Remember t-shirt paint? Making t-shirts and painting them and stuff was a big deal. Yeah. Yep.
So her one son saved up all this money for a book, and when he gets there to the books, Sysco took him to the bookstore, gets there, and he pulls all this money out on the counter, and it's got all this glitter in it, which I think is so cute.
It stuck to it because it was clear t-shirt paint with the glitter on it, so like the dollar bills are all stiff, and I wouldn't give like a 5, I'd give like 4 ones and a bunch of change, and the quarters would have this glitter stuck to. He kept it for I don't know how long, like 2 years.
What did the
Goosebumps? He bought a whole stack of Goosebumps, man.
Yeah.
You know, the cute part is first of all, they're boys. And, you know, again, like I grew up, we didn't have a lot of money, but we had a lot of magic. We had a lot of love, and we did stuff together. And I just wanted, the world can be so ugly, and I wanted to show them how to keep magic in your life. That's, you know, why not? Why not, you know? So I did that, and the coolest part was, the first one I did, I picked blue because that was, you know, Jess's favorite color. So I put that on there, and I could hear the kids talking, oh, what is this? I don't know. You got something on your cheek? Because I would put a little dot of the glitter on his cheek, too. I would put footprint dots, like the fairy walked up the pillow and then kissed him on the cheek. And, you know, at first he's staggered around trying to figure out what's going on. He's talking to his little brother, and he goes, there's glitter all over. Yeah. He goes, you had a tooth fairy. They dropped glitter all over everything. And so it was so cute between two. I mean, like 6 and 5 maybe, or 4. And then my other son would lose teeth, and then I put like orange glitter on his, or gold, or whatever it was. I got a gold fairy because I told him that fairies come in different colors and they drop different colored glitter. Why not? Why not? He saves up all this money. That was my saver. And he would save up his money because he loved to read books. And I mean, at 7 and 8 years old, he's reading Goosebumps, like going through them like butter, and then he'd read them again, and then again.
Oh yeah, me too.
He loved them. He stacks all these. I mean, he must have had 20, Goosebumps. And he sticks them on the counter, and the guy's looking at the glitter and the money and everything else. And he's going, and he said, that's tooth fairy money. See all the different colored fairies I got? He said, I was trying to lose this one too, but I couldn't get it out because and he's explaining to the guy that the fairies come in different colors, and that's why they're all different colored glitter. He's like, oh, okay, cool. And he goes, well, somebody really likes to be scared. And he looks up at him with this big, bright smile on his face. He goes, I'm working my way up to Stephen King. Because I always told him he had to be older to read Stephen King, Yeah. So he figured he's going to go through the Goosebumps to get Stephen King. But that was funny. But how magical is that, right?
But but with the spreading whatever I don't even know what the original question was, like spreading the cheer or giving it to other people.
A little bit of magic.
That it probably brightened that guy's day and made him think of some kind of fun memory that he had when he was younger, or family members or friends or kids or whatever. It's just cool. It's cool. because you don't know how you affect people, and it's
you don't know how, maybe he went home and did something like that for his kids.
Right.
I'm not trying to figure out how to get glitter on the money, because I guarantee you, I've done somebody in here say they weren't that creative. I think it was Jackie, but see, that's just it. I was taught by a mother who was creative. I was taught by a mom who would do that, and it passes on. It's generational, and I can imagine that somebody who doesn't have that kind of magic, how special something like that would be to them. And I was listening to a young person the other day, and I didn't disagree with what he was saying, but he just had a different vantage point on how when he had kids, he didn't think he was ever going to tell them about Easter Bunny and Santa Claus and all that stuff, because he didn't want to lie to his kids. And I kind of looked at it different. I think it was because of the mom I had, where I would ask questions like in the store, like when I was little, like, how does this Santa Claus here? And we just left, Woolco or Woolworth, and over here at Sears there's another one. He looks totally different. She's not, they got helpers. He goes, helpers like elves and stuff like that, they're not like omnipresent like Santa Claus can be. He's busy, he's over there taking care of business. He puts everybody out here, they gather all the knowledge, and then they let him know what's. It was so matter of fact and just off the cuff, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And just like anybody else, I looked at the wrapping paper and I'm like, hey, his wrapping paper matches yours. You start getting, slick and stuff, and you start noticing things. And she'd just come off the cuff and say, look, I decorate for a living. Do you think that Santa Claus, as much as Christmas means to him, is going to come in here and mess up somebody's decor when he sees that somebody went through all the trouble to match things and have he's going to match it too? It's magic. Everything, as soon as you say it's magic, that's it. That's all you have to know. And then she gradually let me know a little at a time that you're Santa Claus and you're the magic, and it's up to you to put that out there. And I had no problem in that transition, because I don't really believe I've ever reached the point where I didn't wholeheartedly believe in Santa Claus. I believe in the magic of it. I believe in the magic of Christmas and the time of the year, and it truly is like the song says, where people go around with Merry Christmas on their lips, and they tried to keep us from saying it. I never quit saying it, even in retail. I'd say Merry Christmas, or I'd sing Merry Christmas, have yourself a merry little Christmas. I'd sing it. You can't stop me from singing. Woman gets fired from retail job for singing Christmas carols. I'd have been on every news channel that night, I guarantee. I'd been outside with posters and everything else.
That'd be some shit you'd see on the news nowadays.
Fire me. I'll see you in court, But that's just the thing. You find little ways of putting it through. So we were talking about Christmas past and memories. You told me a great one. I love the Jingle Bells. Tell the Jingle Bells.
Yeah, so
I loved it.
My grandmother told me this. I mean, she passed away a few years now ago, but she told me this. Oh, I know. I miss him so. Oh my God.
God bless you so much.
But anyways,
is that the one you heard from?
No. Well, no. Actually, they were all there. Yeah, so it is actually
very cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't mean to out you on,
Oh,
but
no.
I'm saying
that's
that's exactly what we're talking about tonight, is that kind of magic. But go ahead.
It is. And so she told this story to me probably like all the time, probably every Christmas since I was like a little kid. I was maybe like 5, 6, I don't even know. And my grandparents came over, and I think it was either my grandfather or my grandmother stood outside with these like old-fashioned sleigh bells and jingled the bells, but I couldn't see it happening. And I ran outside, opened the door, and I was like, Santa, here I am, Santa. And
I'm here. It's awesome. Yeah. I just love that.
I had no idea that it was them doing it to, trick me or, not trick me.
How does that make you feel? It's like an excitement. It's like I don't know, it's a warmth that comes from inside, that tingle, that whole wow factor, it's so awesome. Why did you steal that from a kid?
No justice, no peace. Just said, oh, my dad did that every year. She's all really excited. Well, he, I don't know who.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool. You know, why not? And you know, and how cool. And that's why we're talking about this too, because we want to spark the memory in you. Did you have that? And if you didn't have that, did it make you have that with your family or your kids or your your neighbors? Are you the crazy one at the parties that gets everything going, gets up and dances, and gets whatever it may be? Are you the person that puts that spark in the holidays, whether it's Hanukkah or Christmas or New Year's? Some people like New Year's more than they like celebrate the Christmas. I
don't
like
know why.
the old New Year's. I like the old New Year's, and I'll tell you why. I grew up thinking New Year's was like you went to a big band dance hall, and you sat down at little tables with white tablecloths and the candle in it, and a big band played, and you got up and you danced, and you blew horns at 12 o'clock, and you made sure you were standing next to the one that you wanted to kiss at 12 o'clock, and you woke up the next day with a hangover and, probably torn stockings in some way. But but you know what I'm saying? It's just, that was New Year's to me because that's what I grew up seeing on TV. That's what I grew up seeing in the old movies and things. And, think about like the I Love Lucy, Ricky Ricardo kind of look.
Love that Christmas special.
Oh,
that is the best.
Yeah, just all of that kind of thing. Or, any of the old movies like the Glenn Miller and, all the old big bands and stuff. Because my mom would tell me and teach me dances from the 1940s after the war and things like that, because that was her heyday and her time, And then, of course, I always put that kind of visual on what New Year's was supposed to be like. People don't do that anymore unless you do a big hall or something yourself, right? Or you go to a big place in New York, which try that now, or anything like that. I mean, I think all that's dead, but it's up to us to bring some of that back and put something back into that kind of thing. And that's what we're talking about for Christmas or for Hanukkah, the little special things. I can't really speak on Hanukkah that much as far as traditions and things. I've had friends that are a part of it, but I don't know. I know a couple of my friends where parents would like hide the presents, and they'd get bigger as it went, and the 8th day the present would be the biggest one. You start out little and move through, but that kind of thing. But I think there's something special about the holiday, the whole grouping of the holidays, because it kind of starts right around Thanksgiving and goes through. I mean, I know people that even
it starts at Halloween for us, and probably most of the people in the chat.
Yes, it does. Oh,
September starts Halloween.
Yes, Aunt Edna's here with I Still Cry When. Yes, Judy Garland sings Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. That was in Meet Me in St. Louis, wasn't it, Aunt Edna? And, White Christmas for me. White Christmas, the whole thing. Even the part of where he's singing Counting Your Blessings, and the whole thing where they're having a fight, and if they just said why they were mad, the whole movie would have been over 15 minutes. But you have to go through the whole thing. But in White Christmas, too, there's a lovely... the whole backstory, the whole thing it is hinged on is all because this general that they fought with was retired, and he bought a ski lodge up in Poconos, I think, or wasn't it? Was it the Poconos, or was it? It was something upstate New York-y, upstate Pennsylvania.
I've heard all these Wonderful Life, or all these movies are really great, but I'm afraid I'm gonna cry if I watch them for some reason. So I have never seen them.
That's a real good one. Now it ends well. I mean, that's an MGM spectacular. Where everybody. Well, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it.
I'm
since
such a sap. Oh my god!
But anyway, it turns out really good, and everybody gets together. They get all the old. Group together the from the army and stuff to come and honor his general, and of course it snows, and he's losing money, and thinking he's gonna have to close the place because it's not gonna snow and nobody can ski, and it snows, and it's a white Christmas, and everybody comes and they eat cake. It's wonderful. So anyway, that's a great movie. Another one that gets me, of course, all of Christmas carols. Now at the end of this show, I said to Laura, how can we share that? Because for sure, we need to share that together as a chat. So, at the end of the show, I have recorded for you one of my favorite, it's not a cartoon, it's an animated feature. Because it doesn't really have that cartoon feel. I think it's a lovely thing. Alistair Sim does the voice of Scrooge. And Alistair Sim, the 1935-38 version of Scrooge is one of my favorites. He's like one of the best Scrooges ever, Alistair Sim. Probably only upped by George C. Scott as Scrooge in that version of the Christmas Carol. That's probably my number one Scrooge favorite, because I like him because he was Patton also, so it's a double whammy for me. Do you have a favorite Christmas Carol that you remember seeing? Does anybody in the chat have a favorite Scrooge? Some people might say the guy from, who's the guy from Star Trek that played it? He's bald.
Oh, don't ask me.
He played...
No clue.
I forget his name. I'm not a Trekkie, but I can see his face, but I can't think of his name. He played Scrooge. So many Scrooges. There's real old black and white versions that are just off the chain good. If you haven't seen them, look them up. Muppet Christmas Carol, absolutely Uncommon Belief. Absolutely one of my absolute favorites. I can still sing all the songs. My kids loved this Muppet Christmas Carol. I do too. I mean, the mice, no more cheese for Mises. Oh my gosh. That is a great version. And Michael Caine plays Scrooge in that. So good. T-Rex says, Sysco, they are all my favorites. The original... Wait a minute. It's going so fast. Okay. Wait a minute. I lost it. Can you catch it? Can you see the chat?
Oh, I had my chat stopped on something that Donnie Cho said.
Okay. 1 second and we can pull that up. Sysco, they are all my favorites. The original Patrick Stewart? Is it Patrick Stewart? I think maybe it could have been. My favorite Scrooge is McDuck, followed by Bill Murray. Oh, that one was Scrooge. It was called Scrooge, where the chick punched him in the face. Remember, she kept punching him in the face or hit him with a toaster.
I didn't watch that, but I did watch the Duck a good version. One. The Donald Duck, and yeah.
I still like the really old black and white version. The most famous black and white version was the Alistair Sim for me, and I can remember because I have a memory with that one. It was the first Christmas my mama had passed, and I was staying at my aunt and uncle's. They had 2 older boys, my cousins, that wound up kind of being like my brothers. But I remember I wanted a moment to myself when everything calmed down and died down in the house and everybody kind of went to bed, and I felt kind of special because I was able to. I was probably 12, 13. I think I just turned 13. Stay on the couch and watch a show on TV and just spend a little time by the tree and with my thoughts and my memories and my mom. I mean, it was just fresh that I had just lost her. And all of a sudden, A Christmas Carol with Alistair Sim came on, and I felt like I watched that with her that night. We're just sitting by the tree, the lights blinking, and watching that. In the first time being in that house, really, I hadn't been there very long, couple months, trying to find your place. And it meant something to me. It made me feel like a connection to a familiar part of my past, but almost like a new version to me, because I'd never seen it before, where you could have a new version to your life and still make it. And that's kind of what it meant to me. And just to keep that up, keep up the spirits, and, not be down, and it just always affected me that way. So anyway, that's one of the memories that links in for me with Alistair Sim. What did Donnie say?
Oh, he just said, I figured out Santa wasn't real when I noticed Santa's handwriting looked oddly like my dad's.
Yeah.
That made me laugh.
That's so true. Big Willie here says that A Christmas Story is pretty good, but A Wonderful Life is my all-time favorite. I'm so glad, and it really is so good, and I hope they don't ever... Well, did they remake that? I hate remakes. I really do.
I don't know.
I don't know, but It's a Wonderful Life is great. Thing on that was it died when it came in the theaters. It wasn't popular at all. It slowly became a cult classic. And then it got to the point where they were playing it like on repeat for 12, like a whole week of Christmas, and they like outplayed it. And I think people got used to seeing it instead of really paying attention to it. But man, it's good, because the whole thing is that, like that movie I mentioned about the 5 people you meet in heaven, because you don't realize who you touch and how you touch them. And, so that goes back to the beginning of this. where you could give $20 to Bill, or say, hey, look, I'll buy you a gas card, or if you need to see, like she said, receipts, books, whatever, do whatever you need to do, but who are you touching? That $20 could touch so many people, people just getting water and food and things like that. As you can see, it's like you can't go to the neighbors for help. The neighbors are gone too, for whole towns. There was a candle factory where people were working, probably sitting there thinking, I'm going to work extra this week and get extra money for Christmas and my paycheck and everything else. Bam, I'm hearing stories of people crawling over co-workers that have passed in the rubble to get out.
Right.
You're going to start hearing these stories. But again, you're going to also hear the good. You're going to hear the heroes and the helpers. And the things that have been faith in humanity restored. Guarantee it's going to happen. And if it can ever happen, it can happen now, during this time of year, during this Christmas, and we cannot let this holiday season dip and go, I don't want to, because of the Rona and because of the past year and everything else. We're going to have to dig a little bit deep in our back pockets to pull the magic out this year. So,
yeah, I think so.
You can donate blood at your local Red Cross. You bet you can.
Oh, good idea, Aunt Edna.
Yeah, you definitely can, because that can move through. That's a great idea, Aunt Edna. Let's poke that up there.
And I mean, God forbid, knock on wood, like if any of us were in that situation, you would want other people to reach out and help you too. Anything.
That's the same with anything. That's the same with helping ghosts and everything else. Wouldn't you?
Right.
If I was a ghost, I want somebody to help me.
Oh God.
But like Aunt Edna said, you can save a life. You bet you can. And you don't know who it's going to touch. So any of those ideas are great. Again, you've got the links. Donnie says here, the five people you meet in heaven after you get past customs and the bouncer. Yeah, I hear the bouncer's pretty strict up there too. Yeah, but we got gatekeepers. We'll help each other. We'll help each other for sure. There's enough love in here and stuff to go around. Everybody's made an energy connection here. We've seen it work before. Guarantee we're gonna we're going to help each other, that's for sure. So at the end of this, we're going to sit through, it's a little 20-minute version of A Christmas Carol, so I can leave you with something really cool, and we can watch it together, and that's neat. But I have another one. Now, right before we came on air, and we were going to tell stories of different things about magic that happened with us, we started thinking about Christmas past and how much things have changed in a short amount of time. And I've got two little Christmas ghost stories. One's a Christmas ghost story. One's just a good ghost story. And we were going to tell you other people's stuff and read you some ghost stories. And I thought, I'm just going to tell what's happened to me. And if you guys want to bring up, things that have happened to you at Christmas. Steve wanted to come on here and tell his Christmas feather story. But I can tell you, we were on with Laura on her wonderful podcast, Midnight in the Mountains, and he tells it there. So you can, Laura, if you want to drop a link to that show and your podcast there. And if you haven't gone over and you're not on YouTube, right? So they can't go subscribe, but they can pick it up on what?
Okay, so I am still working with Dylan from Creepy Unsolved. That's not going anywhere. I just am on my own platform by myself now. I am approved by Spotify. They did that immediately. So it's on Spotify. I dropped my Buzzsprout link. Oh my God, I can't talk.
Buzzsprout what?
Buzzsprout link in the chat. And then I am on Instagram at midnight_in-the-mountains. And what else was I going to say? You can find, so I have that episode on
it's a great
Buzzsprout
story.
And Spotify. All you have to do is just search Midnight in the Mountains. And my logo is a logo that Sysco made me. It is purple, pink with mountains and the sunset and a wolf. Yeah, and you can also find it too, because Dylan's stuff is still up on Creepy Unsolved. It's on his podcast, and it's also on his YouTube too.
It's a great story.
You can find it all those places.
It's a great story. I feel better. We hear T-Rex is Pam Smith is not feeling well.
Had so migraine or something. I think I caught.
Yeah. You try lavender oil. I'll tell you a little trick. There's a pinch point here. If that doesn't work for you, You hold it and release it. Hold it, release the pressure point. Lavender oil is also good for you, just like Laura's got here. You put it on your wrists here and rub it with both wrists, and then you cup your hands. Breathe in, close your eyes, breathe in your nose very slowly and out your mouth deeply. So it circles the whole, your breath circles around. Breathe that in and do it again. Do that 3 times and then release, and then hold that pressure point again and then release that, and just do that about 3 times, a group of that. Sometimes that'll release your migraine, unless it's a TMJ, and that's a pressure point on your nerves that has to do with your jaws. So if the lavender oil doesn't help, I don't know about breathing aromatherapy. Sometimes that helps. Sometimes it helps putting lavender in a hot bath and hold the water in there for a minute and take a shower so the steam circulates, and that can help too. But lavender oil's helped a lot of people with migraines, so give that a shot. And I've heard cinnamon does too. So give those a whirl and see. I'm an herbalist, so when you come to Donnie wants to do. Is he offering free acupuncture? What is he doing here?
I don't think so. He just said
offered free acupuncture for the entire chat. Isn't that what everybody meet at Donnie's for acupuncture for Christmas? Is that what he said?
I think that. Yeah, actually, that is what I saw.
Something about he's an expert at acupuncture.
He said he's making dinner too.
Oh, and dinner.
Yes.
Christmas at Donnie's. Let's go. Everybody's getting acupuncture and in their stocking and lavender oil. So that's that. I told you we'd get you laughing a little bit, guys. So that's that. So anyway, Christmas passed, yeah? So the past is past. We can't do anything about it. Christmas present is a gift. So that's what we're gonna hang out and be each other's gift tonight a little bit. And have we started yet, Laura? I'm not even sure, baby. I swear, man.
Didn't I talk to you enough today? My phone went dead.
I swear to God.
While we were on the phone.
I swear to God.
I had to call you back from my laptop.
And I'm sitting there. I must have downloaded 300 pictures. I'm trying to do you guys a video over here. In order to do a video, I got to download it on my phone, upload it to this laptop, put it in my Movavi, make the video, load it up to YouTube, download it on this laptop, upload it to the StreamYard, and pray to God it works. And I can't tell you how long that takes. I can't tell you how long it takes because my sound system, I can't change it just to share a video like other people do. And I'm afraid to touch any buttons because Lord knows if I got to get Bowden back here to go through my sound system again, he's going to kill me. So I don't try to touch any buttons, but I want to share stuff with you, and that's the only way I can do it, yeah? So we made this little video. We can talk over it. I hope it sparks some of that Christmas magic you guys had, or maybe remind you of something that you can do with your family, or maybe, something extra to throw in the stocking, or something extra to do with, your family or your loved ones or your friends or something like that. Just pull some magic out of your back pocket, and maybe this will spark some memories. I don't know. What do you think? It's about 2-3 minutes long. Something we're going to share together. I hope you like it. And I'm real nostalgic. I love the Victorian stuff and things. And just to let you know, Mario wrote this a half hour before I went on the air on his keyboard tonight. So he put this music together for us as his gift to you guys. Enjoy. Look at that. Look at it. So proud the dog with the tree. Oh, look at that. This is World War I. Look at that, looking in the window. That was in Chicago. Little Christmas club. Just beautiful. Going out and getting the tree. Look at there. A Veterans Memorial in New York. It's not that long ago, folks.
No, it's not.
Look at this, early 1910 now. There's like 1930, 35. 40s, coming into the 40s.
I just love vintage Christmas stuff. It's so pretty.
Didn't he do a great job on this music? It's kind of creepy. It's kind of creepy, not creepy, but more.
I love those.
I have these ornaments.
I have so many of those. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tinsel. God, the tinsel.
Coming into the cats.
Yeah. You know how many cats I've chased around pulling tinsel out of their butt? Come on now. That's Christmas, baby. That's love. That's the magic of Christmas right there. Get a hold of that tinsel.
That is a magic trick.
Tinsel out of a cat's butt. Look at this. Look at this family. My goodness. Look at that. Look at that.
You'll shoot your eye out.
Oh, how cool. In Korea and Japan, Christmas is seen as a couple's holiday. I have these too.
Really?
I have a couple.
I have
more like Valentine's. How cool. I remember trees. Look at that zenith on the floor. I have some of those too.
Yep.
From the 19...
my grandmother
1950s.
had those.
Yes. Oh, yep. From the 50s.
One year I had moved in with my grandfather, and I had all these ornaments from my other family, other side, ornaments, and I did a whole tree that I went in this old, where they would grow Christmas trees, but nobody used it anymore. And I went and cut down a tree and brought it home, and it was all this skinny tree.
Look at the 60s. Now we're getting 70s. That's amazing. Yeah, memories. I don't know who goes and cuts their own tree or goes to pick out the tree, but it's always the largest cat toy in the house, baby. G.I. Joes. My God, I love G.I. Joes so much. I had to put 3 pieces of tinsel at a time on the tree. Here comes Sega. Sega! Coming. My son, in his sleep, and when he was 3, I always made them flannel PJs for Christmas Eve, and they wore them Christmas Eve. And he was in his sleep, he sat up and just said, Sega! He was dead asleep. Christmas Eve. And there was one under the tree for him.
Oh, that's great.
Tree's made out of all toilet paper, I'm sure of it. It was 2020.
I was gonna say.
I mean, that's 100 years of Christmas memories, guys. Look at... Don't get tangled up in Christmas. Look here. Ghost visitors for Christmas. Here's some Christmas pictures. Now I'm going to stop.
Creepy one.
I'm going to stop these so you can see it, guys. Laura sent me these this morning. She sent me a bunch of pictures of Christmas and pictures where loved ones showed up in the Christmas pictures that they were taken of the tree. If you see above this, you see that arm and the head and everything else right behind them. This is taken in maybe early 40s maybe?
Oh, I don't even know.
30s?
Was sending stuff.
Steve would be able to tell us. But you can see him right up there, and there's a lot of pictures of when people are gathered together, and they take pictures of orbs and stuff around the children, or being in the Christmas tree or whatever. So we thought we'd pull a couple of these out, and we did it not so much for the ghost thing, but to show you that loved ones are around. And said around the 30s. That's what I'm thinking too. Look at the clothes and stuff. Of course, that was the time when they were doing a lot of that ectoplasm and the spirit photography. But this one just didn't look like that to me. And the way the guy's part was and everything. And the arch of light that's around on the top and the ceiling and off to the one side, it just had a feel of real to me. But I don't know what y'all think. Yeah, that is a clear pick, Patriot. Yep. And hang on one second. I just missed something in the chat. Here, let me go back up. Yeah, and then so, wow, what's up with that ghost? Looks like you celebrate Christmas, doesn't it? He's trying to be an angel on top of the tree. I don't mean to, that's sarcastic, but I think that's kind of cool. Because your loved ones are around, guys, and sometimes they do get caught in the pictures. So
oh my God. Donnie.
So cool. What's Donnie say? Wait, stop the show. It looks like... What is this? You read that one. I can't see it.
It looks like a centaur, except instead of half a horse, he went with half
Christmas
tree.
Very cool. Pull the show over. Here we go. All right, now here's somebody in the tree. Almost looks like they're standing behind it as far as I can see. It almost looks like you can see the shoulder and your head coming through. Do you see this, guys? Isn't that cool? So that's another one. Let's see here. I'm sorry, I'll get her started again. I love you, Donnie. Ghost around the Christmas tree, captured on film. Look at this one. That's solid, man. Did you see that? Did you see that, chat? That one went kind of fast. Let me get it back there. Look at that one. You can even see like the reflection of the glow in the TV screen. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Something else. Do you see it?
Yeah, I see something. Yeah.
And it's almost, you can almost see a face in it too. But the thing that caught me was it's also it's either so large that it's coming in front of the screen, or it's reflected by the TV screen in the background there, which kind of was different to me. I thought that was kind of cool. Look at that. And that's something. All right. He did such a good job on the music. It's so, it's creepy, sad, good. Did you see that one? It was all orbs. I'm sorry. Went too fast. Sorry, guys. We'll go back. See all the orbs above them? That's not, I don't believe that's dust, because if you could get a real big picture of this, you could see the one orb that's right above the two ladies' heads. There's other ones there as well. But in that center orb is most of my paranormal investigators here in the chat, and the ones that are in groups said, I've looked at a lot of these pictures, will tell you that when it's a real orb, it has like an energy form in it. And, sometimes you'll even get a face. Like Rob came on and told us about the orb he got that had the full face in it of one of the murder victims of those two ladies. And you will see, sometimes you'll see colors. And different colors mean different things. When I was on the wheat field in Gettysburg, I got a picture. And it was a mist. It wasn't orbs, but it was a mist. And the mist was a bright pink, like almost like a magenta. And I was just thrown by that. And I knew I hadn't done, I didn't need to go through any of that nonsense because I took the picture. I knew I was the only one standing in the field that was alive.
Right.
I knew I didn't put it through a filter, blow smoke, and, all the things people would say. So I went right after what the meaning of colors were. Now, a lot of people also that really get into the tech on this and stuff and what's in pictures will tell you different colors mean different things. And it's the energy that I guess if it's like their main thing is anger, like sometimes you'll see red, like I did with the ghost, the ghost that had red eyes. Sometimes he'd open his eyes and you'd see almost like a red light. If he was in his state where he was kind of like sparkly and not manifested the whole way, sometimes he'd just show up and stand there and you'd think it was a fully live soldier in a Revolutionary War uniform. He manifested differently at different times. What is that?
That was my dog stretching on my bed.
Oh my God, is he okay? He sounds like he's okay.
He does it all the time.
I thought it was a chainsaw at first. Okay. No. All right. So the dog's fine, but anyway, that's different colors mean different things. So pink, the pink mist, as well as if you see orbs that have pink light in it, it's love and accommodating. It's like they're listening. They're there of their own will. They're doing as they're open and loving. And it was so cool when I found that out, because I had just sang Amazing Grace to a bunch of unseen ghosts that were soldiers, as far as I was concerned, my brothers that had died just happened to be dead for 150 years. And when it was over, I asked permission to take the picture, and I got this big pink mist that was over the whole field. It was an amazing thing. But this orb right here has got that energy in it, and I guarantee if you could blow it up and analyze it, you'd see it even clearer. So there's that. And I forget what you call that. If there's somebody in the chat that remembers what that's called. But anyway, pretty cool, huh? So they're with you guys, and they will show up at holidays. Remember what Rob and other mediums and stuff has said. This one is the same type of thing. You guys can't see my arrow, but there is a large mass of light and mist standing to the right, my right, of this tree. Pretty cool, huh? What does gold and pink orbs mean, Sysco, with faces in them? I'd say that if they have faces in them, it's for sure an orb. That's energy, and they're just kind of a way of almost like manifesting, just like a ghost would. Is an orb a ghost? Yeah, I just think it's a different form. It's an energy ball. Yeah. And the pink, to me, gold, was always explained to me to be more like I want to say, I don't want to say an ascended being because that gives the wrong idea, but more of a being that's vibrating in a very high vibration. Let's put it that way. And pink is love. Pink is love. They're calm. They love. They have a love energy. Whoever they're around, they have that love feeling. That's what that means, Anna, to the best of my knowledge. There you go. And there are a lot of them at Christmas, that's for sure. Holidays, birthdays. Okay, here's another one. And all the orbs, this is another one of those orbs. If you look almost like directly above the couch to the right of whatever that looks like a big chess piece or something in the back, or looks like a horse. To the right of that, you'll see this large orb. Now, there was multiple pictures of this little boy, and this orb almost seemed to hover like above him and stick with him for quite a few minutes. And this is a great picture of it because you can see the brick through the orb, but within that orb is colors. And like Aunt Edna just said, this one has gold and like a blue hue to it. Isn't that cool? So there's another one. And you know, I could have put 50 of these up here. There's plenty of them out there. But the thing is, if one of them is true, then it's true. There's something going on. And I just think it's further proof that our loved ones are around us. When we think of them, when we think of them in love, they are with us. Hey, Peter, welcome in.
Oh, this no.
One, yeah, buddy.
No. That's not real.
You wouldn't think so, but... But no, check it out. There's another picture of this. I wouldn't have put this up here, but it doesn't look real because it looks too good. But I think there's a good chance it is. Now, I have seen pictures like this. Our friend Michael Lacciana, and I'll get him on here again, has a picture that's very much like this from the Jenny Wade house. What?
Sysco,
What?
Dylan on Creepy Unsolved, he put out his podcast with Michael today, and I just listened to this, and he explained that the ghost in the mirror. He just told that. I just listened to that story.
Who did?
Dylan put out his podcast for today, and his episode was with Michael, and Michael talked on this episode. Yes! And he talked about the ghost in the mirror from Gettysburg, Jenny Wade house.
Cool. I'm telling you. This happens, right? I'm telling you, it happens. Anyway, hear it again. It might look too good to be real, but I'm telling you, I have seen ghost pictures that were this clear. So just, again, check it out. Right, spirits can be... Yes, I do agree, Gray. I think that to be an orb, and we do wish you love this Christmas. From all of us here, me and Crispy and Mr. Dickens, Journey Through Gate. And Mario, thank you again for that lovely music. It was gorgeous. I appreciate it so very much. So let me take that down. I'm sorry, guys. Here we go. How cool. Michael just told that story.
Yeah, I'll send you the episode.
He's a wonderful photographer and a great investigator.
Yeah. He was talking about all these cameras, the full spectrum cameras and stuff. I was like, oh my God, I want to get one of these. God knows how much they cost, but I want one.
Stuff. He also does a wonderful thing called Journey Through the Past. And he does a great job he goes about studying a house, like he does this one episode on a haunted town, like a ghost town. Everybody just left, but it is haunted. But he does a lot on the history and talking to the townspeople and the people that lived in the houses and everything else. He approaches it in a very respectful manner with a big emphasis on the history and the what the people go through and their lineage and everything else. It's wonderfully done. It's on Amazon Prime. It's called Journey Through the Past. And he did it all himself too, the editing and photography. Yeah. And he's amazing. He's an amazing investigator. I spent a couple of times in Dark Cellars with him. He's a wonderful human being. So he told that story about the ghost in the mirror.
I just dropped Dylan's link in the chat, and if you go right on that page, that if I could talk, the episode is right up on there. It's like After Dark 04 or something, I think. I just closed the link too.
Cool beans. And
but you
like
guys will see it.
I wanted to touch back on this with Gray, that Gray said about the
Come here.
Hang on one second. Oh, hell no, Aunt Edna said. That was probably the ghost of the mirror thing. But that's just wild. I mean, there's been a couple of them that I've seen that just really blow you away like that. But Gray was saying about how spirits, she thinks that orbs are spirits. So, hello, sweetie. Hi, darling.
Fluffy.
Merry Christmas. Oh, my gosh. I hope you get wonderful things in your stocking. Does she get a wonderful stocking? She needs to have wonderful stockings.
That's the one that's been sick, but she's a little better now. So.
Oh, God bless her. Oh, good.
Yeah, it's fluffy,
have you been
guys.
giving her the stuff? Have you been giving her the stuff?
Every day, all day long.
Yeah, I'm telling you, she's got a good chance. I've seen that stuff work miracles. She's an herbal kitty now. Isn't that wonderful? And I thought it was so wonderful that you had a vet that would listen, that took you to the to that end of it too, because there's wonderful things.
Yeah.
But you just need somebody that understands, that give you guidance, so if something happens, you understand. They understand. That's great. Hi, Fluffy. We've been praying for Fluffy, so send happy thoughts and energy towards Fluffy tonight. Another Christmas miracle. She's doing a little bit better. That's great. So you have seen a little bit of improvement?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a blessing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, honey, that's a blessing. The stuff is a miracle. I'm telling you.
Again, like choked up just trying to talk about it.
Herbs, I'm telling you, I can't tell you. Mr. Dickens was saved by the same herb that that Fluffy's trying, and Dickens was handed to me. I don't even want to say how old he is. He's pushing 12. He's got to be, but he's he's a mess, a good mess, but
spoiled mess.
Yeah. Oh, I make phone calls from work at home. Is his electric blanket? I'll go check and make sure it's turned on, because, does he need anything? Does he want anything? He's my best friend. But anyhow, he was handed to me as a kitten. He was part of a litter. And I was working at PetSmart, so they have Banfield, the vet. Very lucky they had the vet was... she had gone to vet school, I want to say Puerto Rico. And they didn't recognize her credentials for Puerto Rico and had to go through everything again here. So she went through vet school twice. Wow. And she came from a family of herbalists and also believed in giving that stuff a chance, And she worked with me on a couple of animals that she didn't have anything that was going to work on really good, and they did great. So she was willing to listen to me. So at this one point, I got this litter rescued. And she told me that a couple of them had, she suspected that they had feline leukemia.
Yeah.
And I said, well, let me try. And because they were, at that point, at the state I was in, were putting down animals back then that had it, because they didn't know that they had anything to help them. And if I had turned them over, they would have killed them. Well, I gave them my mixture of stuff, going through the elders and Native American stuff. And, said, I'll give them to me. You're not going to put them down, and I'll take them and take responsibility, and I'll let you know how it goes. She worked with me. Well, Dickens was one of those. They would have been put down at 4 weeks old, and he's 12 now, so yay, herbs. Thank you, Native Americans and everybody, and Chinese herbals. Thank you so much. But there's go. So that's like, it's not a Christmas miracle, but it's a miracle, and you got to take them where you can. So God bless you, Fluffy. We're praying for you. Keep getting better. Keep going. Keep going. That's awesome. So Christmas passed. I started it from the 1890s and worked through. And if you think about it, like I said, I always think about 1890 and try to place it, because that's when my grandmother was born. And I was always trying to think about what was going on when she was around, because she was always real hesitant to let people know she was Native American. And she always whispered stuff about the herbs, like she had to keep it a secret, because if she didn't, bad things could happen to you if you're Native American. Think about it. Even on the East Coast, around the city in 1890, her family was hesitant to say that she was Native American, because you had problems with if you had a business or if you owned land or anything like that. So, Peter, you're fine. Anytime you can come in here, you are more than welcome, hon. Aunt Edna's talking about herbs. Let me catch it right here real quick. Aunt Edna said, I believe the orbs I captured were my ancestors celebrating with us, Grey Wolf. They were on my Facebook page, the one I can't get on. Oh no, she can't get back to the Facebook page. Isn't that terrible? When you get kicked out, you lose all your pictures and everything else.
Yeah.
I highly recommend backing all that stuff up because I can't imagine losing all those pictures and stuff like that. I think you can do something like a Google Chrome and just, for pictures,
I'm pretty sure.
They've got
I just started using the Google Docs and stuff like that, so I'm not really familiar, but I'm sure that you probably can. Why couldn't you put pictures in?
What do you call those little flickety sticks? You can stick in your computer and download
jump
everything.
Drives?
Yeah, whatever those things are. Just
get
your flickety stick and download all your pictures to the stick so you don't lose them, because that's awful. I've lost all my baby pictures, like a tornado, and having to move and last minute stuff, things get lost or destroyed or damaged, and it took a lot just to collect from relatives if they had little pictures that I sent them and kids in school and stuff like that, just to get copies of them, to have pictures of my kids. I mean, it's terrible.
That's sad.
And it says, my family hid their Native American heritage to Sysco. They were white, period. Yep, exactly. I think I heard rumors that my great-grandparents said they were Russian immigrants just to get through, or just something like that just to get through. They kind of looked a little Russian. They had the high cheekbones and the way they're... Anyway, I thought it was sad. I think back to 1890, and I look at the pictures there and the Christmases and stuff, and I think, gosh, it wasn't that long ago,
No.
So, Christmas memories. In the chat, if you had a special Christmas memory, like you used to make cookies with your grandma and go hand them out, to the neighbors or something like that, pop it up here while we're talking. The ones that got me... Oh, Donnie, thank you so much for that super chat. Let me stick it up here. I believe... Hang on one second. I believe the most treatment of Native Americans is part of the reason why there's so much paranormal activity in this country. You know what? That's a really good point, Donnie. I just... it's a good point. There's a lot of... mistreatment. Okay, good. It was mistreatment. I believe the mistreatment of Native Americans is part of the reason. Could very well be. I can tell you there's land that's been cursed. There's land that's, had horrible things happen on it. I've walked through them. I've had people... There used to be a story that Sylvia Brown spoke of when she was riding through a certain town. Her husband was driving, and as she was driving, she just felt this pressure on her chest, and she was going through... like when I can understand it. It's like this heavy weight on your chest, and you just know you're coming into so much energy, like walking onto a battlefield or something along those lines. And she's, in the passenger seat, and she's riding, and as she goes down this road, it's getting worse and worse and worse. And she starts to get this vision, like almost like she was going back in time, like she was slipping into a time portal, and she saw the battle going on all around her as the car was moving through, and people dying and being killed, and the battle that was going on, and she didn't even know where she was. It was just a town they passed through, going to the next one, visiting somebody. And later on, she went ahead and tried to investigate what had happened there, and found out, yes, there was a battle there on that land, and she saw it and felt it. And there was something very similar to that where we used to live in Alabama, and my son called it the road with no heart, because when you're driving through it, the same thing as I just described that Sylvia did. I didn't see anything, but I could feel like I was driving through just a thickness. And you almost wanted to hold your breath before you knew you were going to hit it, and you just tried to drive real fast to get through it. Guarantee you there was a massacre. Guarantee it was more than just a war battle feeling. It was more like a betrayal feeling. Like somebody that went to meet there thought one thing was going to go down, and it flipped on them, and they were betrayed, and people were wiped out, and that's what I felt, and it was pretty hard. I tried to avoid that as much as possible. What do you got here? Laura bopped out for a second. I don't know what happened. Hopefully she'll be able to come back in and follow the link to come back in, but she just bipped out. It wasn't anything on this end, so she should be back in here. T-Rex, it was, hang on one second. Taken at a place that used to be a girls' school, then a hospital, now a condo building, haunted AF. Are you talking about the orb picture? The orb pictures that you got? Orbs with herbs. Cool. So, I don't know where Laura went. Here she is. She back. All right, let me get her back in here. Where'd you go, sweetie?
I don't know.
Did you have fun?
No. I got scared.
Yeah, don't get scared. Get scared. You're back. You're good to go.
It's completely just dropped out. Just the link completely just shut off and done. No idea.
It's okay. Well, I promised you I was going to tell you a story. Since we were bringing up the Native American stuff, I thought I might honor my. You guys want to hear the Singer Sewing Machine ghost story? You guys want to hear this? I'll tell you. To honor my grandmother, my great grandmother too. I can't imagine what it was like for them in 1890s living in the East Coast. The different things. Dealing with not being able to tell your heritage or anything like that, and it leaves such an imprint. I think when we're forced to pretend we're somebody else and can't be our true selves, it really does depress us in some way, and that can absolutely add to the whole thing where you're harboring lower vibrational things. Can you imagine? So this also goes back to Gray talking about, I believe that orbs are spirits and not ghosts. That leaves a lot of thought there, because you'd wonder why they're appearing as orbs, as balls of energy, and not manifest as a ghost, or like we hear, like the mist and the twinkling and things like that. And then you've got situations like with Rob, who was dealing with 2 earthbound spirits and got that orb. But I'd have to ask him when he got that picture, because if he got the picture, because I'm pretty sure he got at least one of those 2 ladies crossed. There was a lot going on there, because they were tortured in that house. They were absolutely tortured, and the other one was tied up and listened to the other one scream, waiting on her turn. I mean, the energy that was portrayed into these walls and that environment had to be just astronomical, right? But I know he crossed one, so I don't know if he got it and she came back. I don't know. I don't have the details on that. But it's an interesting thought that, they'd come back, more spirits come back as orbs than ghosts, earthbound spirits portray themselves as orbs. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's an interesting concept to think about. I never thought about it like that, and it's got me thinking. But as far as with the Native American and not being able to tell who you are, I got to think back to times I got to spend with my grandmothers and my grandfather. My grandfather was always work. He was a diamond cutter for Bendix in New Jersey, which was a huge company that since I think got bought out 2002 and got ate up with all the really good American companies that kind of went out, But he had a little gray house that he had ordered out of the Sears catalog, and built it with his own 2 hands and a couple of buddies. Thank you so much, Donnie. Wait, before I get started here, he's got a question. Let me pop it real quick, because by the time this is over, I'll lose it. I've always seen orbs as high fives from the other side. That's a great way to put that, and thank you again for your kind super chat there. And Gray is absolutely agreeing here, saying exactly, Donnie. So there you go. High fives from the other side. That's awesome. That's a great way of looking at that. And again, look at your Christmas pictures, guys. You might get, some of your loved ones giving you a wave. So my granddaddy's got this little house, and I used to just love it.
I'll be right back.
Go ahead. And my mom and I stayed with them. She was going through a divorce and everything, so we kind of stayed there for a little bit till she got on her feet and got our place, and we moved on. So I started kindergarten in that house. I remember it was right when school was starting, and the bus would drop me off right out front, right at the end of the sidewalk, and I'd just get off the bus and run right up that sidewalk. And, you know, it was so cool to go through that door and be home, and, you know, my grandmother would be there, and she'd have her soaps on, and we used to love to watch, I forget what, you know, way they came in, but everybody had their, like, three. They'd come on, and the next one, and they'd watch the next one, the Guiding Light, and then you watch little, you know, Young and the Restless, and then whatever came after that, whatever, As the Stomach Turns, whatever the hell the name of it was. But, so she had hers, but we always watched Dark Shadows together, because I was always into this stuff, and Dark Shadows was a cool soap opera about vampires and ghosts and cool stuff, you know, so we watched that together. But if it was summertime, the end of summer, you know, and right before the real fall kicks in, it's still hot in that house, and there was no central, you know, air. So I used to love to go down in the cellar, and sometimes my grandfather would be there if he was home from work or whatever. He had his workbench and his workshop down there, and the whole half of the cellar was his. And he used to show me the coolest stuff about tools and, you know, all this different things. He just big hands and this big lovey bear man. You know, I just miss my grandpop so much, my pop-pop. Now, my grandma would be upstairs in the kitchen, but my other grandmother would always be, there was a sewing room, there was a root cellar, and there had baskets of potatoes and, you know, all that kind of stuff, and canned, you know, canning stuff, and nice and cool in that little section of the cellar. And there'd always be baskets of apples in the fall, and I used to go down there to get a nice cool apple and talk to my grandfather if he was there, or go in and see my grandmother. In the little sewing room, there was a curtain you'd pull back, and it was a Singer sewing machine with a pedal. And she would sit in there, and she was always cutting old clothes and making quilts or mending something or letting the hem down in a dress or things like that. So if I was lucky enough, she'd be down there. It was always fun to hang out with her because she always had stories. So she would tell me, you know, this is the blue dress that I wore to the, you know, the state fair, or, you know, this is the one that, you know, your so-and-so wore when they were little, and, you know, that I let it out and this one had it. You know, it was stories and memories, and it was cool to sit on her lap, and she'd let me I was just big enough that if I slid down, sat on the very edge of her knees, I could put my feet on top of hers, and she'd let me push that pedal. If you guys have ever seen an old Singer sewing machine, they were so cool. And then she'd tell me, you know, be careful, don't get the needle, you know, push it through, but don't get the needle in your, you know, fingers, and be careful. I can remember all that stuff. And then sometimes she'd be down there and sorting canning items and moving things around and, you know, doing what she called sorting, you know, the canned goods and stuff. And she'd tell me stories, and she'd tell me stories about, she taught me a little bit of the Lenape language and a couple of words, and, you know, she taught me how to braid hair. She called it plaiting. So, you know, she had long, beautiful gray hair that looked so coarse, but when I touched it, it would be so soft, and it was absolutely gorgeous, and it went all the way down her back, and she'd teach me how to plait. And while I braided her hair, she would tell me things. She would tell me stuff about herbs, how sassafras was, you know, tea was good for your stomach, and peppermint, you'd chew on peppermint leaves and it would soothe a sour stomach, or, you know, you could rub the leaves on, you would keep mosquitoes off you, and, you know, just all different things she would tell me, and I just absorbed this information. And it was wonderful. And I can remember even one time she was down there and she was teaching me, we have what you call a rabbit dance, where you dance around. It's just a little movement with your feet as you move around the circle, and, you know, and dance to the drums. And she would teach me that too. And it was just a wonderful time. Just a wonderful time. You know, there was always somebody who had knowledge, willing to share. And I just loved these people. And it was so great to be around family. And the sad part is we got our apartment. My mom got her new job and we moved out. And nothing was ever really the same. I only got bits and pieces of the family, you know, throughout my life. And, you know, time moves on, and, you know, it's Christmas cards, birthday cards, and, you know, life separates you. And I can remember I never got really back with my family as a family reunion for many years. We were all in different directions. And we had lost some along the way. And about 22 years later, we finally get a nice family reunion. And like I said, there were some empty chairs. But, yep, peppermint. It's really good. You rub it. That's, you can use peppermint leaves, and you could rub it, or spearmint, and it keeps mosquitoes off and stuff. All these little tricks. But anyway, I went there, and it was great because I had both my boys then, and I was married, and my sisters and stuff were there, the ones that hadn't passed, and my brother was there, and it's all in the book, and it's a very deep chapter in the book. But as I'm sitting there, I'm starting to realize all the stuff I missed, because after my grandfather died, and I remember that, my grandmother sold the house and moved into a little apartment, and they widened the highway there, and of course tore that little house down. And progress, right? And everything went to the winds. And I remember asking, I said, whatever happened to that old Singer sewing machine? I said, man, I'd love to have that. Does anybody know where that went? Nothing else, but just the house is gone, and that hit me. I can't go visit it. It's a big turnabout thing now, all those memories gone. And I said, man, I'd love to have that, or at least go visit it, because there's so much memories. And they said, well, that went with the winds too. And I said, man, gosh, that was so nice. And I told them the story about, I used to love to be with Grandma when she was telling me all that. And she taught me how to speak a little Lenape, and told me never to forget who he was. It was so important to her for us to not to forget our heritage, and to try to remember some of the traditions. It was so important to her. And my sister was sitting on the couch with my other, and the family all around listening. We're talking. She's looking through a photo album, and she starts flipping the pages a little hard, a little faster. I'm like, what's wrong with her? And she's giving me looks like, what the hell's up, with her? And I'm finishing my story, and she says, how old were you? I said, I was in kindergarten. It was my first time in school. The bus used to drop me right off front. It had to be about 6. You were a little older back in the 60s going to school. You were, like 6. Now I think you're like 4 and you're going to preschool and stuff. But I was about 6, 7. And she says, no. She said, lies. It's all lies. I said, what do you mean it's lies? She said, there was no way. You were 6 years old and down in the cellar with great grandma. I said, why? And she said, let me tell you something. She said, you never sat in the Singer sewing machine with her. She never taught you Lenape, and she never danced with you in the cellar. And I said, excuse me, do you want to tell me why you think that? She said, sure. She said, when you, the reason that your grandmother would not go down those stairs, she was scared of them, because her mother, great grandma, fell down those stairs and broke her hip, went to the hospital, and then they moved her to a recovery hospital for after the operation, and she died of complications there. She said, you were 3 years old. I carried you into the funeral on my hip. You never spent any time at that Singer sewing machine with great grandma. You never danced with her or any of that stuff. It never happened. I said, oh, yes, it did. Yes, it did. Now you understand. She came back. She crossed over, because she didn't have any of her earthly burdens, came back and picked the one grandchild that would listen, the one grandchild that was open enough to accept the information she had to give. And that woman didn't feel right about going and crossing over without coming back and saying, it is so important to remember who you are and keep those traditions, and to understand how important it is. And I personally believe that she did that because she couldn't do it in life. What she couldn't do in life, she damn sure did in death. And I'm so grateful she did. And I love her dearly, and I never forgot. There you go. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, she came to me.
I love that story.
She knew I would listen. And that's in full in the book. And, I hope I didn't ruin it for anybody who's reading. I know Donnie's reading it, but I think he's probably got to that part by now. But
I think he said he finished it.
Oh, did he? Oh, I hope you liked it.
I think so. He did. I know from what he read, he did like it a lot.
I'm so glad. That does my heart great. But see, that's what happened. And my sister still doesn't believe me, but...
Oh, that's what he asked, too. I don't know if you saw his question.
No, I didn't. Say it again.
He said, did your sister eventually believe you?
Yes, and it was my mom, our mother. We both had the same mom, different dads. But my mom, if you've heard me tell these stories, she's come to me in different forms. Like before she crossed, she used to visit me. And then after she came back, right before I went in the Army, and she looked completely different. She had crossed and, and told me what she told me about, I'm doing the right thing. And she couldn't tell me what to do. It's my choice, but she'd be watching me, and she'd be, she'd always love me, and I was doing fine, and I'd see her again. And that was pretty cool. But yeah, when my sister came to visit, I never in the book say who's who, because I got 6 sisters and 1 brother. The only person I had to go to was my brother and said, I'm sorry, I couldn't disguise who you were, but I put all this in there, but you did fine. You come out, like just like you are. You're very heroic in it, and he is. But my sisters do some goofy things along the way, so I always said my sister, and then that way I could go, if one got pissed off at, I go, what makes you think I was talking about you? So that's how I got away with it. But she came to visit, about 10 years after that. And we sat down, and she said, what makes me upset? She goes, you see Mom, I believe you've seen her, but why doesn't she come visit me? I said, I can't answer that. She said, well, will you tell her, I love her and everything? I said, sure, absolutely. I said, she just heard you. She opened up a little bit more to it. We never re-talked about the grandma thing, but she read my book, and all she said was that she enjoyed it a lot and that I was very clever and she was proud of me. She never made any comments about it. She had to know that was her, though. But it was just hard for her to have that all come at her at once. But she opened up later on, and I said, listen, we actually were driving by where my mother was buried, and she didn't know it when she started talking about it, which is cool. We were in a car. Mario was driving. We were going on where she was going to a reunion. And she said, why, have you seen Mom lately? And I said, it's odd that you mentioned that. I said, we just now drove past where she's buried. She's buried right there at Wall Church. And she said, is she? Because, again, we're all living in different states, and not everybody knows everything. It's not real tight-knit, but not close by, So I said, yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that. I said, she's probably in the car with us. And she kind of looked around and laughed, and I said, I can't say she isn't, And she said, well, when you see her, that's when she said that. You tell her. I said, she probably just heard you. And I said, I bet you she finds a way. I got a feeling she'll find a way to let you know that she just heard that. I said, I just got a feeling. I said, be open to it. I drop her off where she's meeting. She's going to surprise her high school friend at a retirement is where she was going. A retirement party. Surprise retirement party for a friend. So we were going early to surprise her, to get her in and hide her, kind of whatever. So we were one of the first to arrive. And my mom loved yellow roses. She was a floral designer too. That's who taught me what I know. And she loved, that was without a doubt her favorite, long stem yellow roses. And my sister would always send her a dozen if she could for birthdays or something like that. It was always their thing. And it used to make me mad because I couldn't afford it and I was a kid. And I wanted to get my mom stuff too, how jealous, and I'd try to figure out, how to do it. And one day I went around to the neighborhood. It took me about a week, and I did odd jobs. At that time, a dozen roses delivered cost $7.50, believe it or not. And they did deliver and let you pay in change because I did it as a kid. And I surprised my mom for her birthday and had them delivered sitting on the table. She walks in the door and she said, I told her not to do that anymore. She can't afford this. I can't believe she did this. Picks up the phone to say thank you for it. And I'm standing there going, it was me. And that was a moment between me and my mom. And, it was kind of cool. And she realized that I had done this for her. So yellow roses were extremely prominent in my mom's life. Drop off my sister. Find out where we're supposed to take her. The lady opens the door. She says, you're right in here. And as she opens the door, right on the table is 1 dozen yellow roses. Bam. And I said, she loves you too. Even though, nobody bought them and knew what was going on. It wasn't something like that. It just happened to be her best friend's favorite color rose too. But if you don't think that spirits use that kind of thing. And even if she didn't, at that moment in time, my sister felt that she got hello from her mom. And I mean, it was incredible. It was all within 15 minutes. I mean, you just can't overlook stuff like that.
No.
You know, it doesn't have to be Christmas for miracles.
Nope.
Do you have one you want to tell? I've been yabbling on. What's going on here in this chat? My
Donnie
brains are horrible.
Left you another super chat.
Oh gosh, Donnie.
I know.
Thank you so much, sweetheart. Okay, wait a minute. Here we go. Let's read it. I'm sorry. I was trying to finish that story. I missed some stuff. I apologize. Here we go. Finished your book a few days ago. My laundry list of questioning grew tenfold. That's so cool. I'll answer what I can. In some cases, I don't know, I mean, I even say that in the book. It's like, I have no idea. I think it could be this, but
right.
Something changes and it's even more, or it's different, or it had another layer. That's the way this stuff works, man. It really does. But wait a minute, there's another one here. I'm so glad y'all are doing all right. I hope y'all are enjoying, little bits of Christmas here and Christmas memories and things like that. I don't know. Yeah. It really was a sacred experience. I mean, there's been so many things like that, though, and that's why I keep getting on here and explaining these things, because, gosh, you miss them. We're missing, and I hate to think that all this darkness we let in, and it kind of, blocks out the light sometimes. You got to push it away, and you got to, you got to make it happen. You got to be the spark. You got to, it's the little moments that count the most. I mean, today I was listening to Mario write the song for the video tonight, because, again, there's certain things you can't play or get copyright strike, whatever. And so he'll write me something really quick, what are you looking for? And he always comes out with great stuff. And I'm standing there listening, and he says, what do you want it to sound like? And I said, not too dark. I said, I'm going to show some ghost pictures, but nothing creepy, more like, a melody of Christmas carols, but nothing too jaunty. You know what I'm saying? That's all I gave him. And I'm listening to him do it, and I said, make it just, it's good. It's about like the miracles of Christmas and magic and stuff like that. And he said, okay, I got it. And I turned my head, and as I turned my head and look out my picture window, there's a bird feeder there, and this red cardinal just lands on it right then and grabs a kernel of corn and just sits there and looks at me as he's chewing it and put his head back and forth like this. And I'm just looking at him smiling, going, you little darling, just right on time. The magic of Christmas. Little red cardinal just makes you smile, It's it's just amazing. Just the little stuff, But I think a lot of these happen around Christmas because we do think about our loved ones that have passed so much. And Edna and I were talking here just a little bit in the chat, and she mentioned every ornament that she puts on that tree has a story. And
I love that.
That's so cool. I mean, I've got stuff that the only thing I have of my mom is her Christmas ornaments and stuff. And her manger. That's all I got. I got a couple pictures and that's it. But I held on to that. I held on to that through, I can't tell you the amount of places I've lived and places I've gone, but I always take that. And I said that'd be the thing I grabbed, Dickens first, Dickens first and the Christmas manger and the box of ornaments, I mean, I'm obsessive with it to the point where after Sandy, I've taped it all up and put address on it, and both my son's address and phone numbers on the box. Like, my God, please, if you find this, please, send it to them, because it means so much. I mean, I think this Christmas manger, if you flip it over, the plaster of Paris, I'll show you guys, I'll take a picture of it, show you, but it's the old Italian plaster of Paris figurines in the wood crutch, and they still have a handful of hay.
Oh my God, I wonder if my grandmother had the same one.
I don't know, man. But God, it means
flip
so
out.
Much. Yeah,
if it is.
It could be. But you flip them over, and on the bottom of Joseph's little feet, there's a stamp, an ink stamp from when my mom originally purchased it. 15 cents.
Yeah.
15 cents. Yeah. Probably when she worked at Newberry's or Woolco or something in Asbury Park. And, you're hard-pressed to buy a manger nowadays. I mean, in local stores and stuff, but that's sad. So that means a lot to me. I'm hanging on to that, the Christmas manger. And I always, when I put it up as a kid, it was always my job. And the last thing I put in was a little baby Jesus and hang a little angel above him. And I always had such a connection with just, man, I always felt so powerful to me. That was like a little bit of Christmas magic to me too.
My grandmother. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, please.
No, my grandmother, she would put hers up also, but she'd leave it up, and then I think it was like Christmas Eve, she would, late at night, she'd put baby Jesus in so that he was there for Christmas morning.
Isn't that cool? The different traditions like that. I had never heard anything like that. I was helping my brother and sister. They had lost their house in Sandy and were living in a condo while they got things fixed. And I went over there. My sister-in-law got sick, and I would go over and help clean the house and stuff. And we were there around Christmas. And they had their manger put out, and they didn't have a baby Jesus in there. And I remember telling my son, because he would help me do it, and I looked at him, I said, somebody done stole the baby Jesus from this manger, and I can't believe it. Who would do that, And he's like, yeah, that's the saddest thing ever. So for 2 weeks, we'd only go every 2 weeks, and it was like, we had enough time. I'm looking all over the place for a replacement Jesus. Because I'm thinking, my poor brother has a manger in his house. There's no baby Jesus. What are you going to do? So I'm trying to get it. And I couldn't find one that would match her set. It was similar to mine, but, a little smaller. But anyway, you don't want to put a great big jumbo baby Jesus in the middle of it has to be the right size, So, it's fun. I know it sounds funny, but anyway, I was serious. So I go back and I said, I couldn't find one. And I remember telling my brother, and we're sitting there and having one of these little talks my brother and I usually do. And I said, I'm so sorry I couldn't find a baby Jesus. And he goes, what do you mean? And I said, well, I was looking and I wanted to find one that matched because, I know it would matter. And I didn't want you not to have one. I said, I just couldn't find one. Maybe I'll find one by next year. And he goes, sis, he calls me Cricket. He says, Cricket, everybody calls me something different. What are you talking about? He goes, Jesus is right there. He's been here all along. And I think I'm had a couple glasses of wine. I think he's getting philosophical. Yes, I know Jesus is with us all the time. He goes, no, that's not what I mean. Turn around and look. The baby Jesus is right there. And I'm like, my God, it's a miracle he is. And he's laughing at me. He goes, no, you don't realize we're Catholic. They're hard Catholic. You know what I mean? And I didn't know all these things. He goes, Joe, you hide the baby Jesus around the back till Christmas Eve, and then he's born, and you bring him around the front. You put him up where everybody can see him. I'm like, I didn't know. You should have told me these things. I've been mourning your baby Jesus for I don't know how long. I've been looking at all these thrift stores and stuff. You can't find just, Anyway. Christmas magic. There you go. And they all got a good laugh on that one. I had no idea. I didn't know tradition. That's kind of a cool tradition. Jackie says, Jackie's got one here. I would read the nativity story to my boys every year at Christmas. Oh, I love that. On Christmas Eve and place the baby Jesus, then the night before Christmas. And then the boys would put the cookies in the milk out. Oh, I love that. Oh, you told me one today about tell that, the cookies.
Oh, yeah, it was just like I'd put the milk and cookies out for Santa Claus, and then you'd get up and I'd also put carrots out on the porch for the reindeer. And, you'd get up the next morning and the cookies and the milk are gone. It's just crumbs left. And then I'd go out on the porch. And my dad, I probably have kind of like my dad's teeth are like big teeth. But he's got big teeth, and he'd chomp on the carrots to make it look like the reindeer were eating it, and I always believed it.
I love that so much. I went, it was probably the last year. Now again, why would I still believe in Santa Claus? I believe in Santa Claus because I think it really does make people do a little extra. It really does make people do... I was never into the kids who sat on Santa Claus laps and read the long lists and stuff like that. I was like, mine weren't like that because we're broke and they knew we didn't have it. And they would never even tell me what they wanted. I had to bribe the other one to tell me what the brother wanted and do the same thing with him. And I know at one point they were on to that, so they tell each other what they really wanted, but they didn't want to ask for it. I mean, it was just, and that just makes you want to do more. And there was a Christmas, it was so bad. And I always start early and I always make stuff, and you can make it special. I mean, you can go to the dollar store and get so many things and wrap stuff up, make popcorn balls. You can do all kinds of stuff and watch, being broke, you could still do stuff and make things special. Yeah. So, I was doing a lot of that, and I had a few things, but that was the year Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles were so big, and those things weren't cheap, and they were hard to get, and they were metal Power Ranger proposable things, and, it's just expensive stuff. And they wanted some of those, but I just couldn't get them at the time. I was getting close. What happened? What happened? Well, my God, is it Donnie?
Well, first of all, Donnie says Santa, and he super chatted you again. My goodness,
oh my
Donnie.
Gosh. Donnie.
He said Santa seems like the type of guy who prefers bacon over
cookies. Well, here's some bacon for Santa. Love you, Donnie. Thank you so much. Go ahead.
And then Grey Wolf's comment. She said, I had a mental picture of Sysco running through Woolworths looking for baby Jesus.
I was. I mean, I was looking at thrift stores because usually around here you can find at thrift stores. There's some bacon for Santa. Leave out bacon for Santa. But yeah, I really was. I was obsessive with it. I couldn't find baby Jesus. Yeah, but
I'm sorry. That just cracked me up because I pictured that when she said that.
But we did anyway. I thought I was losing. It was probably the last year, anyway, that I could. Oh no, wait a minute, it was Power Rangers. So I couldn't do anything. So I wrote this letter. Now the thing is my ex, I had found out that he was really having a hard time with drugs. He told me he wanted to try to, so we were doing the rehab thing, and money was tight, and it was just, we were up against the wall. But again, Christmas and magic. And I thought about it, and somebody said I had never done anything like this before. I was always a person doing the angel trees. We had a mall where you go pick an angel off the tree and buy stuff. I was always doing that when I could. Most Christmases, we'd always, especially show the kids, let's do this. You each give up one present, and we'll buy 2 presents for this guy that we don't even know, and make a difference, And that was just something that I did with the boys. This year, they were doing something at one of the big car places. I can't remember what it was. I think it was Toyota or something. And all the execs were doing their own Christmas thing. And my neighbor gave me the thing. I wrote the letter. And it was a real nice, uplifting letter. I said, we're just having a bad year this year. It's going to get better. It's just hard times. We'll pull out of it. I just need a little help. They really want Power Rangers. If they could get a Power Ranger apiece, that would make their Christmas. Mm-hmm. This lady meets me in the parking lot and unloads all these gifts. A bunch of people got together last minute and bought them all kinds of stuff that I could put under the tree. And I felt so bad I couldn't do it myself. But it's the first year I had to do this. And I was so amazed at them opening it up. And they didn't know that it didn't come from Santa. In my heart, it had. That's Santa to me, because every Christmas a miracle like that would happen, or I was able to do it for somebody else or make somebody else's. And to me, that's why Santa, is real. It's all of us. It's all of that magic. It's in your heart. Do I believe a little man in a red suit comes down your chimney? Heck no. I never had a chimney. My mom said he could unlock the door and come in and do it, and I could see the magic in her face when she was probably had to do the same thing for me. When I was little, I can't tell you the countless Christmas she probably needed help, or somebody gave her presents to give me, but she was able to give it, and I was able to see my kids get it, and that was so cool, You should have bought the Power Rangers Poor Strategy. I don't get it. I missed something here.
What am I missing?
Donnie's saying something about Power Rangers, and I missed it. I ate lunch at Woolworths back in the day too, Grey Wolf. Yep, and Newberries too. If you can untangle that yarn there, let me know.
I think.
The video game? It's talking about a video game.
I don't speak video game language. I wasn't allowed to have them. I was told, get your ass outside and go do something.
Yeah, I understand, but those are the miracle things to me, and the little things like what your dad did with the carrots and the cookies. So this one Christmas, it was the Christmas after that, and we were doing better because I just found jobs that I could do, and I made sure that they were okay. And so it was that one Christmas where I knew my oldest was getting a little bit older and he was going to have to be kind of wean him off of that. Yeah, it's me. But I said, I'm going to try one more time. One more Christmas. I'm going to make it last. That's when my dog was, Oso was still alive. It was a big Chow Shepherd, greatest dog. That's what Rage is based on. This dog, that dog of mine. And I said, I got to do something. Well, it had snowed a little bit the night before. It was great. And I made this mixture of like baby powder and baking soda and glitter. And I got my husband's work boots and I went out and I got snow, like it'd be wet. And I put all this stuff on the bottom of the shoes and made steps coming from the door to the tree.
Oh, and I love that.
Then I took a little piece of red felt I had from making their PJs like the Christmas before. And I kind of ragged and tattered up the corners, and I put a hole in it in a wet spot, like it looked like a dog's tooth had gone through.
Oh.
And when the kids got up, I said, oh, there's still Santa's footprints from the door. Oh my gosh. And I said, you won't believe. I said, this must be what this red felt is I found in the dog's tooth. He must have caught Santa on the butt of the pants and grabbed a piece of the red felt. This is a piece of red felt from Santa's outfit. And my oldest son's eyes, all the doubt, and you've been lying to me. I know you're like Donnie said, the handwriting, the wrapping paper, and he's kind of like, yeah, you ain't fooling me, but he kept it going for his little brother. But in that moment, in that one bright shining moment, he believed again. And I mean, it wasn't until about a year later that I had to confess. I'm like, yeah, I did it, but they weren't mad at me for going through those lengths of trying to bring that magic. They were like, I said, you had to grow up with that because there's going to be hard times. And in hard times, you're going to have to dig down. You have to pull that magic out of your back pocket. You're either going to have to do it for yourself or you're going to have to do it for other people. And how are you going to learn how to do that if others don't show you? I said, this is magic. For one bright shining moment, you both believed, and all of that was possible, and it was just so cool. And that's all I'm saying tonight. You're going to need to do that this Christmas. The people that were hit by this tornado are going to need lift up, and they're going to get it. Because I've never seen a tragedy where people didn't come in and help people through it. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be okay for the ones that we can help. The ones that we've lost, we're going to have to mourn, we're going to have to pray for them, and we're going to have to get through it, because the ones that are still here are going to need our help, because we know as a group and in this chat that it doesn't end there. It doesn't end there. They're going to come back. We're going to see them again. We see it here. We see it in the pictures. We see it at how fast time goes. We watched 100 years plus of Christmases and memories. And the things and the traditions that still keep going, and they changed a little bit, but the feeling was the same. I don't care if you were looking at a face of a child from 1890 or 1900 looking in that store window, or looking at a tree in 2020. The glow and the look in those little faces are all the same. And if you looked at the parents in the background, they were just happy the kids were happy. So that's what I'm talking about. That's magic, that right there. So go ahead, Laura. If you've got a story, go ahead. I'm going to see if I can catch some of these in the chat, because a lot of wisdom going down. Grilled cheese and tomato soup.
Yes, I don't know. I looked over. I saw they're talking about grilled cheese
bacon.
Over here.
Grilled cheese with bacon. If you've not had grilled cheese sandwich with bacon,
that's pretty good. And a slice of tomato from the garden. That's the best.
Santa never wrapped his presents when they were kids. That's interesting tradition.
Really? Why is that?
Well, it might be because, Santa just brought the toys, like he pulled them out of the bag. They didn't have wrapping.
Oh,
maybe something like that. That's kind of cool. Interesting. Believe in Santa until I was 12 years old. It's embarrassing. Honey, I'm 60 plus.
Embarrassing.
I still believe in Santa Claus, and I tell everybody that. Believe, because if not, then what,
Oh, I can't think of like a
grilled onions, bacon, tomato soup.
Oh, that sounds good.
Chris Jarvis, grilled cheese with grilled onions and bacon with tomato soup. I
would
can't do
eat that.
tomato soup. Hard no on the tomato soup. I'll take 2 grilled cheese though. Yeah, can't do it. I can't explain it, but it just gagged me with a spoon. Boy, that's an old one. Yeah, Valley Girl stuff. Christmas memories.
Donnie just said he never had grilled cheese before.
Donnie, have it with bacon first. You'll never go back.
Like,
what? No justice, no peace. That's right, Sysco. You don't like tomato soup either, or that's right about the... I don't know where we're... Just say I'm just blanket. I'm just right. Across the board. How about that?
Fair to
I
me.
think it was the tomato soup. All right, guys, let's do this. We have been up here. I felt so bad. I feel like we're kind of numb tonight. I apologize that we're all over the place. But again, this came out. Oh, no to the magic. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes to the magic. No to the tomato soup. I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you. A lot of people love it. I think you either love it or you hate it, but. No justice, no peace. Look at this. But I'm also blanket. You are just right. Oh gosh, thank you, sweetheart. I'm wrong. More times in a day than I'm right. But I know enough to know that I don't know, I guess, or I'm just either numb or whatever. If I don't know, I'll tell you. If I have no clue, and if I say something, I'm one of those people that'll go off and lose my mind, and then they'll go, wait a minute, you misunderstood me. I didn't say it. Oh, never mind. Sorry. But that's it. So anyway, sorry again. I apologize that this wasn't a more, show like you guys are used to, but I think tonight's show was what it was supposed to be. Laura and I were kind of staggered, as I'm sure you were, looking at the footage and seeing 38 tornadoes over that amount. A lot of people hurting tonight, a lot of people missing, a lot of pets displaced. Life will get backtracked because that's kind of people we are. It'll be a rough couple of weeks right before Christmas again. If you guys in the chat, mods have the link to Bill. I highly put everything towards him. He's right there. He's on boots on the ground. I'd much rather trust him with it. Again, don't send it to me. Give it to him and go straight there. Anything that we can do, if you guys have ideas you want to think about this week and come back next week or tomorrow night, Monday, with Steve and I, and come on, and I'm sure Steve will have more information about this and ways that we can try to help Bill and them help other people. They're going to get people fed. They're going to get people places to go. They're going to help out as much as they can, and that's what's needed right now. I wish I could get out there myself, but there's nothing I can do from that. But I'd waste all my money going out there and wouldn't be able to do anything. So, right now we just need to think the best way we can personally help, even if it's just prayers and good energy sent, and and being grateful for what we have, counting our blessings, like they said, Bing Crosby sang in White Christmas to Rosemary Clooney, I believe. Yeah, Rosemary Clooney. So, yeah, counting your blessings is a good thing. At least you fall asleep not so worried, and I'm just grateful to have a safe roof and, great pets and great kids and great friends and a great chat. And I'm always bragging on you guys. And it was the first thing out of my mouth to Laura this morning. Is anybody in the chat affected by this? Are they okay? Yeah. Are they okay? Do we know anybody that needs help? So if there is somebody that's in here that's not here tonight, and they're not here because they have been affected by that, and you guys find out about that, please let us know tomorrow night or next week if you pop in here. And oh gosh, let us know, because if there's somebody in here that needs help, you're part of the family, and we'll do anything we can, even if it's just somebody to talk to try to get through it or get some ideas. Okay, we got to reach out to each other. So I know it's late, but I've got this 20-minute thing, and I think we could all share this before we leave. If you have to leave during it, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing this time, and please know that we are here. We are all family, and we care about each other. Okay, so a little bit of what I think is a really cool thing. If it reminds you of something, or if you love the part, please speak out. Please feel free to chat throughout this, because I just think it's cool to share this with you guys. And let's again remember what Scrooge learned with these three spirits. It all in Christmas Eve. The spirits did it all in one night. There was actually 4. Everybody forgets about Marley, and Marley was dead. That's the beginning. He was surely dead as a doornail. But he came back, as we've seen, and I've personally seen spirits come back to warn others, don't go down the same path I did. Don't make the same mistakes I did. And it's so profound. And he's telling him that humankind was my business. Humankind was my business, and I ignored them. And the chains he forged in life are what he carries with him now, and it was part of his what he had to go through, his journey to come back and tell Scrooge, don't do what I did, it's not too late to change. So here we go with this. And again, if I get a copyright strike, we'll just strike it. I'm doing this for you guys. If we have to take down the episode, we will. So be it. We'll share it together tonight. Here we go. A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. I just love that song that way. This song, I love it.
The place, London. The time...
Uh-oh, what happened?
I don't know.
Sorry, guys.
1943. The season, that of jollity, of festivity and charity, holly and berries and goodwill to all men, with perhaps one exception. And it is with this exception that we are concerned in our story.
This is so good, guys.
The exception is Ebenezer Scrooge.
A Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you.
Humbug.
Christmas a humbug, Uncle? You don't mean that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I do. Merry Christmas? What reason have you to be merry? You're poor enough.
Well, come then, what reason have you to be morose? You're rich enough.
Bah! Humbug.
Don't be cross, Uncle.
What else can I be? Out upon a Merry Christmas. If I could work my will, every
fixed,
idiot
Sysco.
who
You're
goes
good.
back with Merry Christmas
fixed?
on his lips should be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart.
Uncle.
Keep Christmas in your own way and let me keep it in mine.
Don't be angry, Uncle. Come, dine with us tomorrow.
Never. No, good afternoon.
I'm sorry with all my heart to find you so resolute. But I'll keep my Christmas humor to the last. So, a Merry Christmas, Uncle. And a Happy New Year.
Good afternoon.
And a Merry Christmas, Mr. Cratchit.
Merry Christmas, sir.
Good afternoon.
Scrooge and Marley's, I believe. Have I the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Mr. Marley has died 7 years ago this very night.
At this festive season of the year, Mr. Scrooge, a few of us are endeavouring to raise a fund to buy the poor some meat and drink and means of warmth.
But are there no prisons?
Plenty of prisons.
And the treadmill and the poor law, the union workhouses, they in full vigour then?
Both very busy, sir.
Oh, I was afraid from what you said at first that something had occurred to stop them in their useful course. I don't make merry myself at Christmas, and I can't afford to make idle people merry. Yes, I know you'll tell me that many can't go there, and many would rather die. Well, we'd better do that than decrease the surplus population. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
You'll want all day tomorrow, I suppose.
If quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient, and it's not fair. If I was to stop you half a crown for it, you'd think yourself ill-used, I'll be bound. And yet you don't think me ill-used when I pay a day's wages for no work.
It's only once a year, sir.
Well, that's a poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. You'll be here all the earlier the next morning.
Even the blind man's dog knew old Scrooge and avoided him. Scrooge kept all humanity at a distance and liked it that way.
Jacob Marley.
Always one of my favorite parts. That door knocker.
Humbug.
Alistair Sim
Humbug.
does the voice of Scrooge. Fantastic.
Yeah, I've never seen this one before.
I hadn't either. Can you imagine being so stingy in the cold?
No.
What do you want with me?
March, you don't believe in me.
I don't. Because you may be an undigested bit of beef, a fragment of an underdone potato. There's more of gravy than of grave about you.
I wear the chain I forged in life. I made it link by link and yard by yard. I girded it on of my own free will, and of my own free will I wore it.
Now, you were always a good man of business, Jacob.
Business! Mankind was my business. Why did I walk through crowds of fellow beings with my eyes turned down, and never raise them to that blessed star which led the wise men to a poor abode? Hear me.
I will.
I am
Hear
here
me.
tonight to warn you that you have yet a chance of escaping my fate. Ebenezer, you will be haunted by 3 spirits. Expect the first tomorrow when the bell tolls 1. Expect the second on the next night at the same hour. The third upon the next night when the last stroke of 12 has ceased to vibrate.
The air was filled with moaning phantoms. Their misery was plainly that they had lost the power to interfere for good in human matters.
Think about that.
Scrooge awoke to the chimes of a neighboring clock. His room was flooded with light, and a hand opened the curtains of his bed.
Are you the spirit, sir, whose coming was foretold to me?
I am.
Who and what are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
No, your past.
I love this
ghost. What brings you here?
Your welfare. Rise and walk with me.
Good heavens. I was a boy here.
Your lip is trembling.
What?
And what is that upon your cheek?
Nothing. Nothing.
These are but shadows of the things that have been. They have no consciousness of us. The school is not quite deserted. A solitary child, neglected by his friends, is left there still.
Poor boy.
Let us see another Christmas. Do you know this place?
Know it? I was apprenticed here. Oh, why? It's old Fezziwig. It's Fezziwig, alive again.
Yo-ho, me boys. No more work tonight. Christmas Eve, Dick. Christmas, Ebenezer. Clear the way, my lads. Shut up, Ebenezer. Merry Christmas to you. Hilly-ho, my lad.
He was very much attached to me.
Welcome, everybody. Merry Christmas to you all.
A small matter to make these silly folks so full of gratitude.
Small?
Why is it not? He has spent but a few pounds of your mortal money. 3 or 4, perhaps.
But it isn't that, Spirit. He had the power. He had the power to render us happy or unhappy, to make our service light or burdensome, of pleasure or of toil.
My time grows short. Quick.
You are changed. You fear the world too much.
There is nothing as hard as poverty, so I pursue wealth.
I have seen your nobler aspirations fall off one by one until the master passion, gain, engrosses you. Our contract is an old one. I can release you.
Have I ever sought release?
In words? No, never.
In what then?
In a changed nature, in an altered spirit. May you be happy in the life you have chosen.
Oh, Spirit, why would you delight to torture me?
I told you these were shadows of the things that have been, that they are what they are. Do not blame me.
Take me back. Haunt me no longer.
Enter, Ebenezer Scrooge. Come in and know me better, man. I am the ghost of Christmas present. You have never seen the like of me before.
Spirit, conduct me where you will. If you have aught to teach me, well, let me profit by it.
Touch my robe.
As they walked, the Spirit shed from his torch a few drops of good cheer on the passers-by. They stopped to bless the humble dwelling of the Cratchit family.
I'd like to have that torch.
And how did little Tim behave?
As good as gold. He told me coming home that he hoped the people saw him in the church because he was a cripple and it might be pleasant to them to remember upon Christmas Day
Come on, Timmy.
who made lame beggars walk and blind men see.
The little boy is lost in the snow. The little boy's lost in the snow.
Are they?
A Merry Christmas to us all, my dears. God bless us.
God bless us, everyone.
God bless us, everyone.
God blesses everyone.
Spirit, tell me if Tiny Tim will live.
I see a vacant seat in the poor chimney corner, and a crutch without an owner, carefully preserved.
No.
If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die.
No.
What then? If he be like to die, he had better do it.
Don't.
And decrease the surplus population. Oh, God. To hear the insect on the leaf pronouncing on the too much life among his hungry brothers in the dust.
What place is this?
A place where miners live, who labor in the bowels of the earth. But they know me. See?
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day to save us souls from Satan. God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing was born on Christmas night to save us all from Satan's power when we have gone astray.
Uncle Scrooge. He's given us plenty of merriment, I'm sure. And it would be ungrateful not to drink his health. And I say, Uncle Scrooge.
Uncle Scrooge.
A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to the old man, whatever he is. He wouldn't take it from me, but may he have it nevertheless.
My life upon this globe is very brief. It ends tonight, at midnight.
Forgive me, but I see something strange.
Look here. Look, down here.
Spirit, are they yours?
They are man's, and they cling to me. This boy is ignorance. This girl is want. Beware them both, but most of all, beware this boy.
Have they no refuge? No resource?
Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses?
I am in the presence of the ghost of Christmas yet to come. You are about to show me shadows of things that have not happened, but will happen in the time before us. Is that so, Spirit? Ghost of the future, I fear you more than any spectre I have seen. But as I know your purpose is to do me good, lead on, Spirit.
Old Scratch has got his own at last, I hear. Why, what was the matter with him?
God knows. It's likely to be a very cheap funeral.
I don't mind going if a lunch is provided, but I must be fed.
When he was struck with death.
Come into the parlour. Come into the parlour. Come into the parlour. Come on.
Open that bundle, old Joe.
What have we got there, buddy? Anything there for us? Blankets. Bed curtains. Don't mean to say you took 'em down, rings and all, with him lying there?
Yes, I do. If he wanted to keep him after he was dead, why wasn't he natural in his lifetime?
It's a judgment on him.
But I see. Yes, I do see. Oh, God, merciful heaven, what is this? Spirit, this is a fearful place. In leaving it, I'll not leave its lesson. Let us go. I understand you, and I would do it if I could, but I have not the power. Spirit, I have not the power. Let me see some tenderness connected with the death.
My little child. My little child.
Before I draw nearer to that stone to which you point, answer me one question. Are these the shadows of the things that will be, or are they shadows of the things that may be only? Am I the man who lay upon the bed? No, Spirit. No. Spirit, I'm not the man I was. Good Spirit, assure me that I may yet change these shadows you have shown me by an altered life. I will not shut out the lessons that they teach. They're not torn down. Look, rings and all. Yes, I will live in the past, the present, and the future. Oh, Jacob Marley, heaven and the Christmas time be praised for this. I just don't know what to do. I don't know what day of the month it is. I don't know how long I've been among the spirits. I don't know anything. Hello! What's today?
Hey?
An intelligent boy. Oh, a remarkable boy. What's today, my fine young fellow?
Today? Christmas Day.
It's Christmas Day. It's Christmas Day. And I haven't missed it. The spirits have done it all in one night. Well, they can do anything they like. Of course they can. I scarcely ever looked at it before. It's a wonderful knocker. I'll send it to Bob Cratchit. And he shan't know who sends it. My dear sir, how do you do? A Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Mr. Scrooge?
Yes. Well, allow me to ask your pardon. Will you come and see me?
I will.
Oh, thank you. Oh, bless you. Is your master at home?
Yes, sir. He's in the dining room along with mistress.
Thank you. I'll just go in myself. Fred.
Well, bless my soul. Come in, Uncle.
Come in, Uncle.
Hello. And what do you mean by coming here at this time of day?
I am very sorry, sir. It's only once a year, sir. It shall not be repeated. I was making rather merry yesterday, sir.
Now, I'll tell you what, my friend. I am not going to stand for this sort of thing any longer. And therefore, I am about to raise your salary. A Merry Christmas, Bob. A Merry Christmas. I will raise your salary, Bob, and endeavor to assist your struggling family. And we'll discuss your affairs this very afternoon, Bob.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did all he had promised and more. And to Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father. It was said thereafter that Ebenezer Scrooge knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed that knowledge.
Well, there you go. You know, I mean, we know the story, but seeing it again, maybe through the artist's hand or seeing another version of the different spirits that come through, the message is the same. Keep Christmas in your heart. Keep it well. That humanity is our business. That, you know, our brother and, you know, somebody falls, you help pick them up. It might be something small, like we've talked about tonight, with Laura's family, with the memories that she has, the jingle bells. I mean, when she told me about that, and you guys said that your parents, you may have did it too, or a relative. It's the little things. The guy that's, you know, trying to steer the boat in a heavy storm, and he's singing "God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen" and keeping spirit in his heart, and you know, it's just an amazing thing. You know, I've done guard duty on holidays and stood alone and still felt the magic of Christmas, and some of the memories of the past warm my heart. We tend to often think, I've heard when somebody told me that memories, that we tend to remember the negative first. But I've always tried to remember the positive first, because it's the positive that propels you forward. And, you know, we can all learn a little bit from Scrooge. We can get, you know, caught up, and we can be short sometimes. We all have it. But there's always something within your heart that pulls you back. And I want you to find that this year. We all need to dig down a little deeper and just try to find that. What makes your heart sing? What makes your heart smile? And if you can do that for somebody else, no matter how little, do it. And just God bless us, everyone. Laura, what do you want to say?
I don't have much to say after that. That's pretty much everything, really. And just like, yeah, just like you're saying, little things, like hold the door for somebody, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I always try to go out of my way. If someone's even a couple steps behind, I'll wait and hold the door for them.
Yeah.
And, you know, just little things like that make somebody's day.
It is going to make a difference, you know. I mean, I can see a lot in A Christmas Carol of things I've learned from spirits, and, you know, what Marley does. I've said it in the show, you know, in the beginning, that I've seen spirits come back that and do that for the living. And, you know, we always kid and say what the dead are dying to tell us. Well, what they're dying to tell us is we're still here. We still love you. We come around. You can catch it in the Christmas pictures. We're there at the birthdays. We're there, you know. We can't you know, choose things for you. We can't tell you which way to go, but we can tell you we're going to love you along the way. And you know, all that's so true, even in my grandmother coming back and making such a point to come back and say, don't forget who you are and your heritage and your traditions. And one of the biggest traditions we have are around the holidays. So go ahead and don't let this stuff get you down and say, this year I'm not going to pull out this and I'm not going to do that. Maybe you should push yourself a little bit more and go, what? I am going to do it this year. This year I need to do it the most. I need to decorate, or maybe invite the neighbors over for cheese and crackers and or something else, or whatever it is that you do, or bring a candle or a casserole or some cookies. Screw this mess where they can't, they telling you can't socialize and stuff like that. Do it instead, because Christmas will get through. Christmas will put a spark and a light in the darkest places, like you just saw them singing Christmas carols in the prison. I've seen it happen. It's the magic of Christmas. It does exist. I believe in Santa Claus. I believe in you. I believe in humanity, and we're going to pull out of this. And I love you all. Merry Christmas. Thank you for being here tonight. Please say a prayer for those in need tonight, and I needed you tonight, so thank you for being here. Laura, thank you so much for coming on the show last minute and helping me do this for this wonderful chat and these wonderful listeners. I can't thank you enough, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas.
Thank you for having me, Sysco. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Thanks, guys, so much.
Yeah, Merry Christmas,
tonight.
Everybody.
Thank you, Donnie, and thank you, Donnie, for you're going to think I'm going to say for the super chats, and I do thank you for those. But most of all, I thank you for holding back and not giving a joke about knockers that came over many times. I kept waiting. As soon as he said one beautiful knocker, I was waiting. Here's Donnie. Hang on. He's going to, and you missed it. So, too late. You can't do it now. I did it for you. I love you all. Bacon all around, hearts all around, prayers, and God bless us, everyone. We're out of here. See you tomorrow night at Monday Madness with Steve. And Laura, tell me again where to find you, darling.
Just for now, find me on my Instagram at midnight_in-the-mountains. And yeah, I am on Spotify right now, so I'm still waiting to get approved from Apple and Google and iHeartRadio and all that. So
you'll get it. Go after your dreams. Don't let nothing stand in your way, and bring that glitter and that magic to your holiday. And we'll see you tomorrow night. Love you all. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, guys.